What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God!
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Oh, Mr. Anderson. 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 Mr. Anderson.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is me, Legal Vices, and we're here with the Wisconsin v. Mr. Anderson trial. Glad to have you here. According to Judge Schroeder, today is International Pie Day. So happy International Pie Day to everybody. And he also mentioned it was Einstein's birthday. So, hey, cool, I guess. How are we all doing? Oh, wow. So, what do we got going on today? Of course, we've got this trial. It's coming on. We're going to be rocking and rolling and ready to go here whenever they decide to grace us with their presence in court. They should be starting at the top of the hour. For some reason, they're behind schedule, and Judge Schroeder wanted to let the jury decide if they wanted to come in a half hour later. Thankfully, they said no. So it should be starting at the top of the hour, but we know that it never does start at the top of the hour. So we'll just have to do our best to see what happens. Whenever it starts, I guess. Oh, hey, we got a super chat already from Booberberries. Clearly, we're all just stalking J-Bear. XOXO. Jeff, are you the J-Bear now? Are you J-Bear now? I don't even know what you mean. All righty. All right, we're checking this out here. Let's see. Well, all right, let's get some of the back of the house stuff, some of the housekeeping out of the way here before we jump into our review of what happened yesterday afternoon. That was pretty wild, by the way. Jeez. All right. What's up, chat? XOXO. Ooh, why did I just about end the stream? That would have been weird. Okay, so what we've got going on today is the usual. We've got our like and subscribe poll. There is currently 518 of you, so I'm really, really happy that all of you joined so quickly and so soon. That's a good sign. That's a good sign you like me and you don't like others. Oh, and by the way, I appreciate everyone going over to Law and Crime and sort of promoting my channel, but please don't really don't do that because Law and Cuck could crush me instantly. I appreciate the thought, but saying, hey, don't watch this, watch him. When I'm watching their stream, they can just crush me. So just for a little bit of good, a little bit of good balance, a little bit of good karma. I don't need my channel crushed, so I would appreciate it if you keep my name out your fucking mouth. No, just kidding. Just don't drop my channel's name over in the Law and Crime chat because that would be bad. Yeah. It's a Law and Cuck crime. Anywho, so we appreciate that, all of you. That kind of made me feel good to see some of those things when I was rewatching it yesterday. All right, today's like and subscribe poll. That's the one thing we got to do. More than half of you have done it, so that's a pretty good number. Get down there, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We got some good subscribers yesterday. Pushed me up to exactly 35,600. I haven't seen where we're at yet today. let's take a look because we're marching towards 50K. We need 50K. Right now, we are sitting at 35,605. Hey, thanks for the 5 people that have joined today. Let's see how many we can get going. 600 of you here, 325 likes. Hit that like button. And if you have subscribed already, please make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube went and just took a chunk of people from me in about the space of an hour yesterday morning. So make sure you're still subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope to be in a position to convince you by the end of the show that, hey, you want to subscribe to me. I'd appreciate that. And once you've done that, hitting the like button and the subscribe button and making sure you're still subscribed, come on over and take our like and subscribe poll. It's a witty little thing. Well, it used to be witty. Now it's just kind of lame. We have our little like and subscribe poll. It's just a tongue-in-cheek way of reminding you to hit the like and subscribe, because I don't even hit the like button for the channels that I watch because I forget, even though I am a content creator myself. So today's like and subscribe poll says I hit the like and subscribe button. Now I need my space. These are all related to yesterday's trial here. I hit the like and subscribe button, XOXO. I hit the like and subscribe button and put a tracking device on you. And I hit the like and subscribe button. That means I murdered you, obviously. All of those, a little bit of dig there at the prosecution, because in my opinion, they're not doing very well. So hello, everybody. Welcome mods, welcome chat, welcome everybody, and welcome to you super chatters. Again, there are no super chat requirements. It's not something I beg for. It's something I graciously and gratefully accept. You're parting with your hard-earned money, so the least I can do is guarantee that I will read and respond to each and every super chat that comes in, regardless of whether it's a 99-cent sticker or a $500 super chat. You know, $500 super chat would be awesome, but hey. Beggars can't be choosers. So anyway, that's it. I try to go through the chat as much as possible. It's hard to do with guests and watching the trial and taking notes and making sure everything stays ready to go. But I do pay attention to chat as much as possible and bring up some of the non-super chats that I think are witty and things that I want to comment, or good questions or good issues that I see. So, hey, that's how we run the super chats. And speaking of super chats, we've got a couple here front loaded. Flux with the I gotta have to embiggen this so I can read it. There we go. Flux with her always Shakespearean Mocha Dick Poon XOXO. Let's do this. More murder on the stand. Chick on chick violence with words. This is awesome. And screw the house. Sadie XOXO. Flux bringing the heat. Wild Red 1905 says, what kind of pies are we talking? Meat pies, fruit pies, or cream pies? I don't know. From the sounds of it, I think it's like the number pie, but I refuse to believe there's an international day for the number pie when, frankly, they could be talking about edible pies. So I'm just assuming it's all pies. And there, are you happy? Are you happy with that read, by the way? Wild Red, are you happy with that read? Oh, it's already up there. American Dreamer looking hot in red today. Jeff, let's go. Oh, Rower. That's me. That's me. This is like the oldest shirt I own. I think this shirt's like 15 years old. Of course, it's my lovable Godzilla King of the Monsters t-shirt. So yeah, this is my ancient Godzilla King of the Monsters shirt. I don't know why I did that, but. And Greg Hansen, Flux is a cutie. Have her on more often. Well, if she would like not work while I was streaming, that would help. So Flux is here for the weekend, and we are scheduled to be doing an unexplained stream together this Friday night, U.S. time, which is Saturday morning, my time. So hopefully Flux will be here, or I'll be there. We haven't worked that out yet. But anyway, all right, that brings us up to where we are. Yeah, see, here's Heather Sparrow raining on our parade. It is 3.14 Pi Day. Crap. Oh, well. I still think it's the edible pies. So there you go. All righty, let's figure out what happened yesterday. It was a Chandler will be here, by the way. People are asking where Chandler is. She will be here as soon as possible, as will Ozzy. Ozzy is hopefully sleeping. We got a scratching dog in the background. Ozzy will be here as soon as he's awake, and Chandler will be here as soon as she's darn good and ready, because a Chandler is never late. Chandlers arrive precisely when they mean to, I guess. All right, so happy number pie day, happy edible pie day, happy what's his face day Einstein. Yeah, that guy. And let's talk about what happened yesterday. It was a day. We had the morning. I don't know if you watched the morning with me, but it was direct examination of the witness, Sadie, the ex-girlfriend that's in the middle of all of this. Apparently, Zachariah's ex-girlfriend is now with, well, I guess was with a new guy before he either took off or was deleted, one of the two. But she's in the middle of this. So she was under direct examination. And for me, I don't know how you guys felt about it, if you watched it. But, I mean, she said a lot of things that were very advantageous to her side of the story and to the prosecution's theory of the case. They read a bunch of chats back and forth between her and Zachariah Anderson and her new boyfriend at the time, Gutierrez. But there wasn't a lot of context. There wasn't a lot of issues being brought about when these things happened. She said a lot of things that weren't objected to, which, I mean, it's a strategy that the defense is employing not to object to this. So it's up to them. I don't know why. But they didn't lay a lot of foundation for a lot of these things. She just said, I was scared of him, so I did this. She didn't say why she was scared, what led her to be afraid of him. And there was a lot of gaps that weren't filled in. And I guess, I mean, this is just wild speculation on my part, is that maybe the defense isn't pushing them for these foundations because they want these big gaps to be left in the prosecution's case, so that later they can come back and say, well, they didn't explain this, they didn't say any of this, they didn't do any of this, to show a weakness in their case. I don't know. But that's how the morning went. And I can't put my finger on it. I mean, she made a lot of contradictions in her statements, but there's just something that, and I hate this because this is I'm so very much, the evidence you submit speaks for itself. And I don't know why, but she doesn't feel authentic to me. And I can't really put my finger on it. It's just this vibe I'm getting. And I hate talking about vibes when we're talking evidence and whatnot and witness testimony, but I don't know. Something just doesn't sit with me. So in the morning, they finished up some of her direct examination, and then the defense took over with the cross-examination. And I watched that today while I was at work, and then after I came home a little bit to catch up. And that's what I want to go through with everybody here, is what happened yesterday afternoon. If you didn't watch that, or if you did, we need to refresh our memory as we bring ourselves up to speed here. And before we do that, let's hit these 3 super chats that have backed up since then. Oh, 2. But hey, Greg, I'll give you this another one just because I like Flux. Flux is a cutie. Have her on more often. As I said, hopefully this Friday. Nicholas Starr of Union Rep Labor Law. How's it going, sir? And by the way, Flux has a great channel, House of Flux. All one word, House, HOUSEOFFLUXX, House of Flux, one word, 2 X's. And also Nicholas Starr of Union Rep Labor Law. That is the name of his channel. And he is pushing the numbers up as well. He's doing great. And I love the channel. It's a good thing. Go on over there, like and subscribe to everything. He's subscribed to his channel, like everything he's done. Nicholas says, I ended a text to girlfriend with XOXOXO. Now I'm on the run. I need somewhere to hide. She isn't missing, but I heard the cops don't care. Okay. And Flux. I meant that hoe, Sadie. She's a hoe. Okay. All right. Not the how. All right. Spelling helps. Let's hide that comment. All right. So what happened in the afternoon session? The prosecution walked them down this particular timeline. They got as far as May 1st, 2020 in the morning session. And on May 1st, 2020, the defendant sent a text to Sadie. And see, now what we've been told up to this point is that he was stalking her. She was running away. She didn't want him around. But in the morning session, they were saying that, she kept telling him, I need my space. I need my space doesn't say we're done, never talk to me again. I need my space is something that you say to someone you're still involved with, and you're working things out. You're taking some time apart, but you haven't officially broken up yet. So because you want to assess the situation and decide if you want to continue or if you want to break up. So this saying things like that, like, I need time off. It doesn't ring authentic to someone who is trying to break up. And also, she keeps meeting him. She keeps hanging out and meeting him, which is weird. And so on May 1st, apparently the defendant sends a text to Sadie saying, "You always refuse to say we're done." So here is the defendant saying, you won't say we're done. And you act angry with me when I take some interest in somebody else, while you and she called she called Gutierrez, he called Gutierrez booger for some reason, apparently because she saw him wiping his booger on something. But I thought that was really funny. That also came out in the testimony yesterday. But he says, you always refuse to say we're done. You act angry with me when I take an interest in someone else, while you and Booger sleep in the same bed. So here again, he's sending her a message saying, you won't say if we're done or not. You won't say we're done. If we're done, say we're done. If that's what it seems like it's saying to me. So, she was saying that he moved out in 2012. They continued seeing each other as late as possibly 2017, but there's a lot of other things that indicate they were still seeing each other, which we'll get into a little bit later here. And of course, there's kids involved, so that always complicates things. But Sadie, she says she never said anything about wanting to work on the relationship or get back together. But at the same time, she wasn't really doing anything to draw the definitive line and say, look, never, ever freaking talk to me again unless it's something to do with the kids. That would be a definitive statement that I don't want to hear from you anymore. Stop doing this. So then there's more text back. There's a lot of text back and forth between everybody here. And more text saying, she gets all the freedom and he gets none and is killing him. So he's like, yeah. So that's a thing. I won't say it's a woman thing. I'll say it's a typical thing in a relationship where sometimes you break up and you're ready to meet new people, but you're still jealous of your ex or whatnot. And you don't want them to be meeting it. You want to meet other people, but you don't want your ex or someone else to be meeting other people. And that's what it seems that the defendant is saying here in these texts. You get all the freedom. You can shack up with this guy. You can meet that guy. You can go around to another guy, but I don't get any of it. And it's killing me. And he did apparently send a text saying that he'll always be jealous of her and you can't live without her. Those kind of texts. And there's phone calls back and forth. And she said there's no coming back. There's no going back. At this point, she's saying there's no going back. But do the statements match the words? See, and this is the thing. I mean, there are texts back and forth. There are actions that seem to indicate that there may be a bit of stalking going on the part of the defendant. I don't know what the legal standard for stalking is in Milwaukee, in Wisconsin. We'll have to see what instructions the judge gives in that regard at the end of the trial. So I don't know what the exact legal standard is. I guess I could look it up, and I should probably do that because if I keep talking about it. But this may rise to that level, and he's been charged with stalking, murder, and hiding a body. Okay, let's go. I'm kind of on the fence now whether he should be convicted of stalking or not. We haven't heard the defense case. And I was much, much closer to the yes before the cross-examination started, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. But even if he is stalking in the legal definition of the word stalking, even if he is stalking Sadie, that has no proof whatsoever. It gives no credence whatsoever to an argument that he murdered Gutierrez. Stalking one person does not mean you murder someone else. And there's a lot of other stuff that came out during cross-examination that we'll get to. So right at this point, there is nothing to convince me in any way whatsoever that he committed murder, that the defendant murdered Gutierrez. I see nothing to convince me that that's even remotely what happened. And again, whether it happened or not, I don't know. It's between them and God because no one else witnessed it. But I have not seen anything which would even come close to suggesting beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed the murders. In fact, I'm not even sure the guy's dead yet. So that's where I sit. I don't even know if the guy's dead. But anyway, so they're texting back and forth. And we get to the birthday. There's this birthday party with the girls and stuff with the daughter's birthday. And again, if I misstate some of these facts, I'm sorry. I do a lot of these things on the fly with things going on in the background, but she didn't say that she was going on the night of the birthday party. She didn't say that she was going over to Rosalio's house. But Zach seemed to know some things that he shouldn't have known. And so she got suspicious and she started checking the car for tracking stuff. And she found a phone under one of the kids' booster seats. It was his phone, she said. It was a burner phone. How she knew it was his phone, I don't know. And how she knew it was a burner phone, I don't know. That wasn't followed up on or made clear. And I will say that it does seem that there was a bit of an obsession that he may have had for her. He wants to be with her. But I think there was a lot of mutual coming back at him as well. Then they flash back to May 13th, where she got childcare one day so she could go hang out with Gutierrez, and she didn't tell the defendant about the plan. She was watching a show with Gutierrez. Then Gutierrez took. Excuse me, got to turn off my phone. There we go. So I don't keep getting messages. So she watched a movie with Gutierrez. Then Gutierrez went to take a shower, and then she got a text from the defendant saying the same thing that Gutierrez had told her just before he went in the shower. So that triggered her idea that, hey, there's some sort of listening device, or he's watching, or something is going on here. And then when he came to get the phone, she refused to give him the phone. Basically, unless he would admit that he was stalking her. She kept trying to get him to say that he was stalking her. And she wouldn't give up the phone. Eventually, I guess he gets the phone back. And then we also learned that he was going. Now, see, this is a thing. He was going to file for custody of the kids, apparently. So I've known people that do crazy things when their exes want to go after the children. So I'm not saying that she did anything to, such as framing him or something, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. So he says he's gonna file, or she finds out he's gonna file for custody of the kids. Then he apparently sends texts. Some of his texts are just downright mean. Gutierrez, he called Gutierrez a Down syndrome Mexican version of your father. Then she talked about the missing rug a little bit. And then she said something that was weird to me. Something I don't know. This can't be the way that people her age talk. It's just weird. She texted Gutierrez and said, "I want you to, quote, be my person for a while." I don't know. That's just weird. I don't. That's just a weird thing to say. I want you to be my person for a while. It just kind of struck me as odd. Well, on the evening of the 17th, Gutierrez says he's going. Now, this is where I've got problems with this. This is where I start to go. If I'm correct, Mike was one of the two guys that testified. They went looking for the defendant after they heard that Gutierrez had gone missing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but His friend Mike was one of the two guys that went after him. And are you Zach? Are you Zachariah Anderson? We think you had something to do with my friend disappearing. So he went to visit his friend Mike, and she says that she told him to text when he leaves Mike's house. He said, okay. And she never heard from him again. So he goes to visit his friend. He says, I'll text you when I leave. And then he never texts. So I don't know. Is it possible? Is it possible that he and his friend Mike went back to his house, maybe drove him home or whatever? He drives him back to the house. They're both maybe liquored up. I don't know. They get in a fight. Mike accidentally kills him, stashes the body somewhere, and starts pointing the finger at Zach. And nobody thinks to investigate Mike. I don't know. That's a possibility. That is not beyond a reasonable doubt. That is a reasonable, in my view, that is a reasonable explanation of what could have happened, because he was at Mike's, and apparently Mike was the last person to see him alive of anybody that we've heard about so far. So he says he's going to visit his friend Mike. She says to text when he leaves. He says okay, and she never hears from him again. And she didn't hear from him for 2 days. So the 17th or the 18th. And then they've only been seeing each other a couple of months. I think they've only met each other a few times. They've only known of each other's existence for a couple of months. And so she doesn't see him for 2 days, and she's worried. She thought maybe he was sick, maybe he was ghosting, maybe he was wanting to be alone, etc., etc., etc. So she decides she's going to drive out to see him. So that's kind of weird. There's a guy you're not even really boyfriend, girlfriend with. You've texted a lot. You've only met a few times, but you don't hear from him for only 2 days. So you drive out there to check on him. That kind of seems a little controlling. That kind of seems a little budding stalkerish to me. I mean, if some chick I was texting and, we'd maybe smashed a couple times, doesn't hear from me for 2 days, and then she shows up on my doorstep trying to find out what's going on, that's weird, and that's going to get somebody told off. No, this wasn't the clerk lady. This was Sadie, the ex-girlfriend of the defendant, going to check on her new boyfriend. So that's when she goes to the house, and she sees that there's blood everywhere and that the furniture is moved. But when she gets there, she sees that both of his vehicles are there. The screen door is the inside door is open and the screen door is closed. So she calls through the screen. Nobody answers. She goes around to the hallway door and sees that there's some brown dots on the door. And she got a very sick feeling. She said, quote, got a very sick feeling. American Dreamer, Jeff, I said I'm sorry, never again. I'm not sure what that's about, but okay. I'm not sure what you're apologizing for, but okay. Okay, whatevs. I see. Unless you were like joking about coming to my door, but hey, good luck knowing where my door is. Ha 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 ha. So this was weird. This was a weird thing. She said she saw the brown dots on the door. We better get the court coming up here. The state seal is up on the court. Let me get everything ready so we can jump in at the appropriate time. Share. Embiggen. All right, then we can shrink this down a little bit and bump it out of the studio for the next little bit. All righty. So she calls through the door. She sees these brown dots on the door. Then she got a very sick feeling. But then later she said they thought there was soy sauce or something, and she couldn't remember what they'd had to eat. So then she goes to the other door, and it's open. She walks in. She sees the rug was missing, and then she freaked. She saw the blood, and then she said a friend told her to call 911. When did she call this friend? What friend did we call? That was just kind of weird. Just out of the blue, she said a friend told me to call 911. Wouldn't you know to call 911 if you saw a bunch of blood? But anyway, the cops are, and this this is where, I mean, like I said, it's all getting weird, but this is where the bat signal is going off and the spidey senses start tingling. The cops arrived and asked her if she knew of anyone who would want to hurt him. And she said, no, but I told them my daughter had been telling me about weird and disturbing things he was doing, like tracking me. So immediately her first thing to do was when the cops go, do you know anybody that would hurt him? No, but my ex-boyfriend's doing some weird crap and my little daughter told me about it. That does not sit with me at all. And on the stand, she named her daughter again out loud. This is the third. Nobody is supposed to name that girl. She is supposed to be anonymous, but that's the third time in this trial they've dropped her name. And she explained. She was asked what she told her daughter, and she said that she explained to her daughter that she had been concerned about her friend missing, hadn't been contacted by him for a couple of days. And so she was afraid something happened. And then she said that she told her daughter, hey, remember what I told you when I told you about my concerns about my missing friend? Well, I went to his house and he wasn't there. And then what she basically did is she basically told the daughter that she thinks her father killed her new boyfriend. I mean, the way it was worded seemed to me that she essentially hinted incredibly strongly to this 11, 12-year-old girl that her father killed her mom's new boyfriend. Yeah, so again, to me, that's what it sounded like to me. And I've got the timestamp. So if we have a little bit when we finish this up, we can go back and listen to that. Because just that whole exchange literally sounded like she basically told her daughter that her boyfriend probably killed her boyfriend. And then the police wanted to talk to her. And so they did. Like earlier in March, now we went into the cross-examination. The beginning of the cross-examination is wild. That's a pretty interesting hour and a half on the stand. So they bring the defense lawyer. She brings up the fact that in March there was these messages exchanged when she barely knew the guy. I mean, they had just started talking and had maybe met once or twice, I think she said at this point, that Gutierrez said that she needed to create a paper trail to make sure that the court won't give the defendant custody of the children. So some dude she's barely met is telling her, you have to make a paper trail of crappy things this dude has done so the court doesn't give him custody. And she said, I will. And then she was questioning, well, so you said I will in this text. So that means you're going to create a paper trail. You're going to make stuff up. And then she got all weird and technical. She's like, no, I wasn't saying that I'd make a paper trail. You can interpret it how you will. When I said I will, I didn't say what I will do. So you can make up your mind what I meant about that or not. And then Gutierrez suggested, or maybe we can have plan B. And then later she said, I'm still thinking about that plan B. So this is where it starts to get a bit weird, again, weirder than it was last time I said it was getting a little weird. It's like the levels of weirdness are ramping up. And then they went back to talk. She was saying, oh, it was so stalkerish because he was buying me gifts and calling me. And so he was asked, okay, he was calling you and giving you gifts. And then she said, no, he wasn't giving me gifts. He was giving me flowers. He would send flowers with the kids, or when he brought home the kids, sometimes he'd bring me flowers. She doesn't know how many times. So in the phone, then there's like a phone call. And she talks about this one phone call where she says, I'm not appreciating these gestures. And she was said, okay, if you're not appreciating it, that's a double negative. So you're appreciating that he's doing this. You're appreciating these gifts, showing that this isn't someone who's afraid for her life. This isn't someone who's being abused and is doing everything she can to get away, making it clear she doesn't want him to be involved. She's giving him flowers. She's appreciating the flowers. She's talking to him. But then, she says, well, I didn't mean that I liked it and wanted it to continue. I just meant that I appreciated it, but no, thank you. And then she said that she didn't think that he put a tracking device on her car. And when she was called on that, when she was called about saying that she didn't think he put a tracking device on her car, her response to that was, well, not at that point. She's obfuscating. She's backtracking. She's walking her statements back. And then there was this text, saying, pick up some Panda Express and you can hang out for a while. And apparently the Panda Express was delivered, but didn't come. That was a weird thing there again, but it's still showing that they're being cordial to each other. They're on each other's radar. They're doing things together. And they're still texting right around the birthday, shortly before the disappearance happens. But they're still texting about this. And this shows you that she is burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. This again strikes me as incredibly bad for the prosecution, because their whole idea is he's and this is where like I said, I was on the fence, perfectly balanced about whether or not he was even stalking her. And then during the direct examination of Sadie, I started to lean towards, okay, probably was coming close to a legal definition of stalking if they hadn't gone over. But then right around this part, when they're still talking and they're still texting each other, still bringing each other food and things like that, it starts to shift back. But now this next bit sort of puts me back towards some of this may not have been wanted. Some of it may have been unwanted, but they're still kind of maybe into each other a little bit, because this one night right around the birthday, Sadie's home. She's getting ready to go to sleep. Sadie texts Gutierrez and says good night. One minute later, she said, I'm laying in my bed, good night. 1 minute later, she texts the defendant and says, good night, XOXO. That's not something you say to a stalker that you want out of your life. And then she texts Gutierrez again, and 1 more minute later, and says, good night, So the state, during their direct examination, was selectively choosing messages that were favorable to them and leaving out these other messages that give context to what's going on. So they left out this whole big deal of her sending these little goodnight XOXO things to the defendant 1 minute after she's sending them to her alleged new boyfriend. She's playing both sides. She likes the attention. She likes the men fighting over her. Clearly, she's in the middle of this, and I think she is clearly enjoying this. That's a sick, twisted person that does that. And the DA starts objecting to all of these texts now. He doesn't want any of these in. Judge Schroeder schooled him hard, and was just basically told him
before the
don't get brazen with me.
And he allowed it in. So they're going to be going through a lot of text messages, I guess, today. And the judge is sitting down. He's going through his man bag, perhaps searching for an orange. Gutierrez suggested, now this is after they're doing XOXO stuff. Gutierrez suggested, apparently this was plan B that he was talking about earlier. Gutierrez suggested a good old-fashioned ass whooping, maybe a broken leg or something, but only if you want me to. This was apparently revenge because Sadie thought that the defendant may have broken into Gutierrez's truck because they saw a black car drive by that may possibly had been Gutierrez. Had been the defendant. So they thought the defendant broke into Gutierrez's truck. There's no evidence of that really that I've seen. I may have missed something, but they want to get revenge because she said, I'm not afraid of him. She said this, I am not afraid. I'm pissed that he broke into your truck and took something that belonged to you. And so Gutierrez suggested revenge in the form of a good old-fashioned ass whooping, maybe a broken leg or something if you want to. Then he said, oh, by the way, delete this text. And then Sadie, after saying this, give you this ass whooping thing, Sadie gave Gutierrez the defendant's address. And so they had the long discussion about not being afraid of the defendant, but just being pissed and not wanting to let him get away with messing with the truck. And that was where we wrapped up yesterday. And the judge talked about the timeline. So it looks like they are scheduled to have one more week of this trial. The defense said that they think they can wrap up Monday afternoon or Tuesday. All right, that's the that's the review. Now we've got a bunch of stuff to go through here. I think the jury's coming in, but they haven't given us any sound yet. So I'll bring this up here in little screen, just so we can see. And we'll burn through these super chats that came in during that long-winded review of what happened yesterday. Wild Red 1905, Jeff, in regards to the reading top notch, but I have to cover all the bases of pi. Great. Everybody, all pi bases should be covered. Your polls are bad and you should feel bad. I do. We should make a poll on whether I should feel bad or not. Jonathan again, I approve of the doggos. However, trial streams need more doggos. They just kind of wander around freely. Yeah. My camera is awfully hazy today. I need to maybe clean off the lens. Booterberry says, thought it was crazy she responded to that Zach cheated on me with so much vitriol. I hope they grill her on the new guy smashing other women that he was apparently doing. I think Gutierrez and her set Zach up because he wanted custody of the kids. That again is not an unheard of thing where, he might be in a situation to get custody of the kids.
States 199,
They're framed.
213, 214, 200, 202.
Okay, they're getting some
255,
evidence in here. We'll kind of mute that for a bit.
203.
Read. He also, Nicholas, thank you again for this super chat. He owes at least $500 a month in alimony to multiple baby mamas. He owes his shady friends money. He's a serial cheater. Each of these are a more probable motive to kicking his ass and him running south. That is true. The Gutierrez owed a lot of people a lot of money. Seemed to be pretty shady to me. And Salty Witch 1776 says, my person is a reference to Grey's Anatomy. Meredith coined the phrase. It's even been printed on jewelry, etc. Really, this I want you to be my person.
208.
That is a very, very green tie he is wearing.
209.
All right, they're still reading pieces of evidence. Oh, man. So is that like a new don't do labels thing? You're my person. Blah. Anyway, Mangs felt she was exaggerating the stalking. If she felt threatened, why keep leading him on? She seems scarier than Zach. Odd she dropped her daughter to the cops. Yeah, feels like a setup. She was not believable. I'm leaning really far down that path. Unhung Hero says, so Sadie looking pretty guilty. Two major motives. Zach was going to file for custody of the kids, and Junior ghosted her. Mad at Junior, kills him, and trying to pin it on Zach. Changed my mind. It could be that. It could be Mike and him getting drunk, and Mike clubs him over the head and disappears him. It could be any number of things. And the state has not proved which one is not. And all of these things are reasonable doubt.
Yesterday, I want to go back, clarify a couple of things. We had been talking about nicknames for Mr. Anderson, and you had noted that
Houdini and Superman.
You had confirmed that you had called him Z-Bear, and said you
Z-Bear.
Call a lot of people Bear. During March of 2020 through May of 2020, were you still referring to Mr. Anderson as Babe?
I was. Now, I still refer to, out of habit, of course, and also because, I didn't hate him. I was just trying to be amicable and kind and show kindness and not be rude and mean.
I am big in the, I'm big in this here.
In May of 2020, do you remember telling Mr. Anderson that you were gonna quote fuck with him?
No, I don't remember that.
I'm gonna pull up what was previously marked as State's Exhibit 208. these nice highlighted ones. And then there was this one in between where on May 10th, 2020, you sent Mr. Anderson a text that says, "You are stupid for trying to fuck with me, so you get fucked with back."
Ooh, you remember that now?
Either me.
Well, then you correct yourself saying with, correct?
It says either. It doesn't say trying to fuck with me.
Okay, so literally,
It's just banter. I mean,
It's
there's
just
nothing I'm
banter.
doing. I'm literally trying to get him off of my back. Literally just trying to appease things and literally just trying to get him to stop. So I don't, if you want to take all of that language out of context, you're more than welcome.
Well, it's not out of context, is it?
It's just
We're off to a
it's
good
just
start.
banter.
so I want to go back to you saying that it says either, not with. You admit that 6 seconds or 7 seconds after you sent that first text, you sent a text that says with, correct?
Where do you see that? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I corrected myself.
Wow, she's not remembering a lot of important
Agree that
things.
You meant to say, "You are stupid for trying to fuck with me, so you get fucked with back."
Yep. Banter.
Well, you meant it to be banter, you're saying, but you don't know how
All
Mr.
right, I'm going to boost the
Anderson
chord
took that,
volume here a
correct?
bit.
Well, I don't know how Mr. Anderson took that. I know that I took his actions very personally too, so I felt very quote unquote fucked with, if you will.
Ma'am, please just answer the question which is asked.
I did. Thank you.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes. I did.
I also want to go back to the Moto G6 phone, the smartphone, not the flip phone that you had found. There was a screenshot that you had taken. I'm going to show you what was previously marked as State's Exhibit 254. So how did you get into the phone if it was password protected, like you said?
This time it wasn't.
What?
When I took it from my daughter, it wasn't password protected at that time.
And so after you get the phone, you decide you're going to go through it, even though you didn't know how your daughter got it.
I decided to go through it because I knew and had information that he was tracking me and following me and stalking me. And so I went in his phone to go see.
This is
if
weird.
there were, also because I was informed that there were videos and recordings of me that my daughter had taken. So I went on the phone to go and look to see if I could find any of those things. And then I went on to see if there was anything in Amazon, like a tracker or anything, because I was being informed that I was being tracked. So I went on the phone to
Who
go
told
and
you?
look for evidence of any of that I could prove. I answered the question.
Judge, with all due
Just
respect,
finish my sentence.
Judge, with all due respect, I'm going to just indicate I think that was the full answer to why she went through the phone. So the question was, why did you go through the phone?
I think she should answer the question, not you, DA.
Some witnesses, for example, are evasive and they.
All right, my volume is just continually going up. I'm going to bring myself down.
To try to avoid answering the question, and some try to take command of the situation and expand beyond the actual question which is asked. And I don't want to give the impression that she's doing something wrong. It's just the way people talk. I don't know. Do you have people that you would rather they just not
Talk?
stay on the phone with you as long as you do? And that's the basic concept.
Sure. So I think I understand what the court is saying. It was an open-ended question. It had a long answer because there's a lot of reasons she went in that phone, and she described those. And I apologize, Judge, but that, you know, if it's a more narrow question, then I certainly understand.
So was the phone her daughter's phone, or was it a burner phone? I'm confused.
Go ahead.
So you just said that at this point, when you took this screenshot, you thought he was tracking you, right?
Yes, I thought he was tracking me, doing things to track me, yes.
And so if you thought someone was tracking you, what would you think you would find in their phone on Amazon that was actively tracking you?
A tracker?
Well, so you went into Amazon. How did you log into his Amazon account?
I just opened the app. It was already logged in.
So you had access to his Amazon Prime account then, his full account.
I guess that phone did.
Well, let's walk through that again. You went into his phone, you opened his account, you said you could open it and access his Amazon account, correct?
I didn't access it. Yes, I could access it. I could see it. It was open and the app was already
So you
logged
accessed
in,
it.
so I could see what he last purchased. So that's correct.
You'd agree that this is you would have had to gone into Amazon Prime, gone into orders, clicked through his entire account.
I clicked on last order and that's what I got.
So-
Did you go through anything else in his phone?
I looked at any videos or audio.
Did you find anything in there?
I did.
So she's just snooping the shit out of his phone.
That?
I did not. It was audio.
So now going back to where we left off yesterday, which was May 17th, 2020. Got these texts from Mr. Gutierrez. We had talked about that. That was
Well,
about where we left off.
that's possible.
The next day, how did you reach out to or attempt to make contact with Mr. Gutierrez?
I text him.
Sorry, what was that?
I text him.
Texted, past tense.
And then were there days where you attempted to call him?
I called him later on the 18th. And then I called him the morning of the 19th.
And do you remember on direct examination talking about how every time you called, it went straight to voicemail?
Yes.
Did you ever leave a voicemail?
No. I don't think so.
So each time it was the same thing. You called, immediately went to voicemail, and you never left a voicemail.
Objection, she's already, hold on, she's already answered that. It's a repeated question.
I'm trying to have a collective answer because it was a sequence of answers. You can answer.
Answer the
Can
question.
you ask the question again?
Sure. That each time you called him, it went to voicemail, and each time it went immediately to voicemail, and each time it went to voicemail, you never left a message.
It went to voicemail every time I called. I don't remember if I left a message or not.
That's true. Somehow lawyers are genetically like afraid of microphones or something. They like to walk around, but even when they're sitting in front of them, they still don't use them a lot.
What? Yeah.
All right. While they're doing whatever they're doing, Flux said, especially with this
I'll
text
show
from
you
Becky
what
saying
was-
Sadie won't know when, but she'll know once it started. That text is shady as hell. What about that, right?
Zoom in here. So first one we'll look at, put it at the bottom, is on May 18th, 2020 at 5:21 p.m. You call Mr. Gutierrez, correct?
Yes.
And that call lasts 5 seconds, correct?
Yep.
And so this is you calling and it immediately going to voicemail and you not leaving a voicemail. 5 seconds.
Possibly.
Then I want to go to 5:18 at 7 p.m. You called Junior. That call lasts 20 seconds.
Maybe the voicemail is long. I don't know. Maybe I listened to it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I didn't hang up right away. I'm not sure. 20 seconds. I don't know.
You'd agree it's 15 seconds longer than the first one, which you said went straight to voicemail. You hung up.
Yes.
And then this was Facebook Messenger attempted phone call through Facebook, correct? At 5:18 at 7:42?
Yes.
That was 0 seconds, correct?
Yes.
Why didn't you leave a voicemail?
I don't know. I don't remember if I did or I didn't.
If you did leave,
Pretty worried, so I don't know.
yeah, if you did leave voicemail, you should have it, correct?
Objection, how would she know? Speculation. That we should have.
Objection is sustained. Well, I don't. Both her question and your objection were argumentative. 40 years up here, that's a
Very true. Yeah, I can see that.
So you're
Everything's
both-
argumentative.
So 5:17, you get there. When you get there, you call your best friend, correct?
519 counsel, probably.
5:19, sorry, I
Yeah.
apologize.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question now?
On
Ozzy's asleep. He
May
always joins us
19th,
when he wakes up about
2020,
2 hours
you
from now.
arrived at Mr. Gutierrez's apartment, you call your friend,
I may have already been on the phone.
and that was Rebecca Jekyll.
Yes. Probably called her on the way down, honestly.
Do you remember the day prior on May 18th telling Miss Jekyll that you needed to go by her house to grab a phone?
I don't remember that.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as Defense Exhibit 264. Page 2.
Judge, I'm going to object to this. We've had some pre-trial discussion about this. We also had discussion as the case began. I think we have ruled on whether this type of discussion can be had with individuals. So I'm speaking about all of our early discussions, and
Ooh, they want to bring up the
how
text
this
naming
line of
Sadie
questioning
as a
is not the
possible
same
suspect.
You were
approach.
referring to the motions that were.
I'm referring to stipulations, and yes, all of those things we've talked about.
She hasn't asked a question yet. So
Well, she's suggesting a
May I
particular.
see what you're going to read from? Thank you.
You're welcome. Just the highlighted portion, Judge.
So, counsel, maybe you're going in a direction I was not thinking. Do you want to?
Yeah.
So maybe if we conferred briefly, this would be, I would be able to withdraw my objection. Is that possible, counsel?
Yeah, I don't think this is.
Right,
Hold on.
No,
Okay.
I think you and I are on the same page. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, they've decided to shut the microphone off for a second. We'll see what happens. I guess they're probably going to get rid of the jury here while they talk about some more stuff. It looks like the jury may only have lasted a few minutes this morning. But in the absence of that, let's burn through some super chats. So here we go. Why? That's a good question. Now, DB, you're the only one that DB keeps saying that listening to the headphones really blasts his eardrums when you speak. You're the only one that's saying this, literally. So I don't know. Don't know what to tell you. Nobody else seems to be having the problem, but yeah, sorry. Lil Pug says, have you discussed the Freudian slip where she said the furniture looked different from the night before when it was supposed to be 3 days? Oh, interesting. I remember saying the furniture looked different. No way I'm calling your ex and stalker babe just to be kind.
If you need me to hand it to you just because of how the Elmo looks, let me know.
I did not hear you.
Oh, sorry. I was telling the witness that if she needs me to hand her the exhibit because it's not always the best.
But you know what? I do think that if is there a mic? Isn't that extra mic around there somewhere? No. Okay.
I'll just project. That helps.
Well, it usually does, but
Yeah. I just don't want to be
go ahead.
screaming at Mrs. Beecham. Can you hear me better?
Yes.
On May 18th, 2020, you had texted your friend Becky, and Becky is Rebecca Jekyll.
I'm listening to the audio through YouTube.
And you
right?
asked her, hey, you at
Sounds
home? Gotta
perfectly
grab the
valid.
phone, ... Correct?
Yes. That's what it says.
What were you referring to?
I don't remember.
MG Law says much better. I didn't touch it.
2020,
I touched
you arrived
nothing.
at Mr. Gutierrez's
So, there you go.
apartment. You're on the phone with Becky. And you notice that the screen door was it the screen door or glass door that was open?
It was a screen door.
So the glass door was closed?
The glass door was open all the way. The screen door was closed.
And when you notice this, are you still on the phone with Becky?
Yes, probably. Yes, I was.
And then I just want to walk through some of the things that you noticed that were, after you had looked
I haven't
in, that
touched
were
the volume
misplaced. You
in
said that
15
there
minutes.
was a gray rug that was missing.
Yes.
Did you notice anything else missing?
I didn't go inside of the apartment. So the only things I really could notice that I felt that was major that I noticed right away was the rug missing and the furniture being moved.
And what furniture did you note that was moved? You had said, besides the kitchen table and the white coffee tables, was there any other furniture that you had seen that had been moved?
I don't remember. It was a pretty traumatic scene, so I don't really remember everything.
Do you remember telling detectives that you also saw a tool belt?
Yes, there was a tool belt laying right by the door when I opened it.
I'm going to show you what's marked as Defense Exhibit 153. Was this the tool belt that you saw?
Yes.
And did you think it was that out of place to you?
Yes.
Why was that out of place to you?
Because it just wasn't there before, and that's not a normal place. I don't think where someone would leave a tool belt scattered.
In your time knowing Mr. Gutierrez, would he leave his tool belt there?
No, not that I ever saw.
Did you tell law enforcement that?
I believe I said something about the tool belt or something missing or tools. I don't remember.
You spoke to two detectives on scene on May 19th, 2020.
Yes.
The first detective you spoke to, isn't it true that you immediately stated you suspected Mr. Anderson?
I didn't immediately state that, no.
Okay. And did you tell, and that detective, if you remember, was Detective Anschutz?
Yes.
And do you remember telling Detective Anschutz that your daughter had pertinent information pertaining to the disappearance of Mr. Gutierrez?
I told Detective Anschutz that my daughter had told me that my ex had taken, that her dad, Zach, had taken the registration out of Rosalio's car, and I stated that that's what I knew, that she had just told me, and that's what I told Detective Anschutz.
So you didn't tell Detective Anschutz that your daughter had information about Mr. Gutierrez's disappearance?
I did not say that, those words, no.
And then after you spoke with the two detectives on scene, you had gone
That's different than what she said yesterday.
here to Kenosha.
Yesterday,
to the
she
public
said
safety building
told the
and had
investigator her daughter
another
had
interview.
had been telling her that her
time,
ex
you
was
brought
doing
your
weird
daughter along.
things.
Yes.
So what time, if you remember approximately, did you leave the scene on May 19th, 2020?
I don't remember.
Do you remember how long you approximately were there for?
It was before probably 4 because I had to get the kids, and so it would have been somewhere before school ended.
She is the ex-girlfriend that's at the center of all.
When you went to the public safety building for your interview with your daughter, how did you and your daughter drive together?
We did, actually. My stepmom drove us.
And on direct, you had testified that you told your daughter that you had concerns about your friend that was missing, correct?
Yes.
When did you have that conversation with your daughter?
On the 18th, when I couldn't get a hold of him all that day and night, I had mentioned something to her, and but it was just a brief mention. And then the 19th, when I came back home, I again just reminded her, like, hey, remember mom was really worried. And she said, yeah, and then I went from there.
On May 18th, 2020, why did you tell your daughter that your friend was missing?
Because she could visibly see me crying and upset, and so she asked me what was wrong, and I told her that I was worried about my friend missing.
But you didn't know if he was missing on May 18th, 2020.
Objection.
Busted. No, it's not. No, it's not.
He's answered the question.
Overall,
Good. Uh-oh.
I
Uh-oh.
couldn't get a hold of him, and so in my eyes, he was missing.
Oh, bullshit. You just got caught in a lie.
Again, you had only been dating this man for about 3 months.
Objection. Again, argumentative. This has been an ask and answer.
Did you know Mr. Gutierrez's work schedule?
Sort of. I mean, he worked for himself, and then he also worked with some other folks. So, to my understanding and from what he told me, he kind of made his own schedule.
So on Tuesday, May 19th, 2020, you went to Kenosha to Mr. Gutierrez's apartment around 11 a.m.
Yes, somewhere around there.
And you knew that Mr. Gutierrez kept his doors locked, correct?
I don't know if I knew that or not. I don't know.
And did you know if he was working?
Wow.
I didn't know. I didn't know where he was or what was going on.
And how far of a drive was it from where you were to Mr. Gutierrez's apartment?
It's about an hour.
Were you aware of Mr. Gutierrez's financial problems?
Objection. This is, again, irrelevant.
No, I saw the Murdoch trial. It's
Whatever
totally
financial
relevant.
problems he's having, irrelevant.
there's no,
Goes to the police investigation judge.
well, first of all, it assumes material that I think would be foundational. And the objection is sustained.
Back to the conversations you had with your daughter.
Wow, that was really bad testimony for her.
Prior to May 18th, 2020, you had admitted that there were other occasions where you did talk to your daughter about Mr. Gutierrez, correct?
A few.
Man, she was busted with that. I like that answer. What lie did she catch her in? Sorry, I'm at work. She said that she told her daughter she was worried about her missing friend, and they asked, "Well, why did you say that?" Because he was missing. So, but you didn't know he was missing on the 18th, and I couldn't get in touch with him, so to me he was missing.
Yes.
And you had said on direct that you were unable to get in contact with any of his friends.
Correct.
And prior to attempting that contact, you had never met any of Mr. Gutierrez's friends, correct?
No.
No, that's not correct, or no, I had not.
No, I had not.
And you had not met any of his family members?
No, other than his 2 children.
You had also mentioned on direct that when you were at the scene on May 19th, 2020, you called the daycare and you were nervous about your kids, correct?
Yes.
Because you thought Mr. Anderson might go to the daycare?
Yes.
And you said that the daycare knows to call you if Mr. Anderson would show up there?
Yes.
You never got a call that day that Mr. Anderson showed up at the daycare, correct?
When I called, they told me that he had not, no.
And after you called them, you never received a call from the daycare?
No.
No.
After May 19th and the couple months, do you remember asking to be present at an interview with your daughter in November of 2020?
Yes.
What?
Previously, you had not been present with your daughter when she was interviewed by law enforcement.
No.
Oh, interesting.
Why did you want to be present
Well,
on the...
again, are you saying your question was previously you had not been present?
Judge, it made sense.
Previously, you had not been present.
I think your question may have been, and previously you had indicated you had not been present?
No.
Oh, maybe
I
I'm.
can just rephrase it, Judge.
Well, the point is that sometimes questions get asked in a way that it's ambiguous as to what the no is responding to. Now, maybe I'm hearing things, I don't think so, but I thought this may be one of those. So it would be a favor to me if you would rephrase it.
Yeah. The interview that happened on May 19th, 2020.
Judge, it was
at the
perfectly
Public
clear.
Safety Building. You're aware that your daughter was taken into a separate room to be questioned by law enforcement.
Yes.
And you were not present in that room when that interview occurred.
Correct.
But then in November of 2020, you specifically asked Detective Anschutz to be present during that interview.
I don't remember if I specifically asked Detective Anschutz, but that interview happened at our home, so I was there.
You're aware that Mr. Anderson has a burn pit on his property?
Yes.
And would he frequently have bonfires?
I don't know, frequently? Yes. He'd have bonfires there.
And you were aware that that weekend, Mr. Anderson was planning on the weekend of May 19th, around that time, Mr. Anderson was inviting or had invited you and the kids over for a bonfire?
Objection. May 19th. Tuesday? What, when you say weekend, do you mean the ones before?
The week of the 19th. So Friday, May 22nd through Sunday, May 24th.
Objection whether she was invited to a bonfire that never happened because it's post the 19th.
I'm going to refresh her recollection. If she remembers, I think she can at least answer the question.
I'm not hearing you. Are you talking to Mr. Gravely or to me?
No, I was saying that he's saying she would have no knowledge, but she didn't even answer the question.
But that's because I had objected. So why would she answer the question? I've objected.
Well,
what grounds?
No, stop. I have to say I didn't. Let me start over. I thought her question inquired about an invitation to a bonfire and you were questioning what dates were involved, and then you objected about its relevance because if it never occurred, what difference does it make? Which I don't. There needs to be more.
He's trying to answer the question for her.
Sustain the objection because the invitation may have relevance. I don't know.
So,
but the fact that it didn't go on is really a separate thought.
He's arrested. The testimony so far is that he is in custody on the 19th of May.
Right.
So whether they were invited to a bonfire the week after he was arrested is irrelevant.
No, it isn't. Not necessarily.
Because I don't know. As I've said before,
it could be he invited over that night because he had nothing to hide.
Very little about the case really until it is introduced into the court. So I don't know if there's relevance to it or not, but it isn't clearly irrelevant. Go ahead.
Would you need to see something? Do you remember writing?
Sure. Yes, I would.
Remember receiving or sending Mr. Anderson an email around May 18th, 2020?
I don't recall.
If I was to show you a copy of that, an email, would that help refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Can I get it?
Unhung Hero says, finish her. And Q Revere, she's guilty AF. Been with a crazy like this before. Well, that's kind of one of the working theories. And Resist Impulse, she used his phone to buy Tracker on Amazon. So, well, that's an interesting thing. She could have done this. She could have used his phone to order it and then blame it on him. That might be getting a little 4D chess for her, I think. But I don't know. It's, I don't know if it's reasonable to assume that, but it's not unheard of, I guess. Crafty Florida Lady says, I just had a prayer that this jury sees this case as it truly is, a waste of taxpayers' money and a jealous witch. Just my humble opinion. I'm kind of there with you. I mean, I'm just afraid that justice is dead in America and nobody cares anymore. We just assume because the guy's been arrested that he's guilty.
I mean, out loud.
Easy 007, this witness sounds psycho. I'm sure Drex would love her.
Okay.
So were you aware that Mr. Anderson was planning on having a bonfire that week?
My daughter told me that that was the plan she knew of and expressed that to me. So in that email, I just mentioned that.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 288, which was what I just handed you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an email that you sent to Mr. Anderson, correct?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
date, and the date on that was May 18th, 2020 at 7:24 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And this email is about you coordinating a schedule with Mr. Anderson for visitation and looks like a holiday schedule as well. Do you agree?
Yes.
So previously you had testified that on Monday, May 18th, 2020, you had told your daughter that you believe Mr. Gutierrez was missing, correct?
Argumentative and is a mischaracterization of what's been said so far. She said she was crying because she was not in touch with him. At this point, she has not told her daughter that he is missing and certainly has not indicated anything about Mr. Anderson. So it's a mischaracterization of the evidence and it is irrelevant.
Rephrase your question.
Multiple times during direct examination, and
You don't need to summarize
Sure.
what you believe the testimony was. You can just ask another question.
Sure. So you sent an email to Mr. Anderson trying to coordinate future visitations, even though at this point you're scared of him, you want nothing to do with him, and you believe your friend is missing.
Yes, I'm trying to coordinate for the children an agreeable schedule.
Judge, I'd ask to move in Defense Exhibit 288 and Defense Exhibit 264.
Objection?
They're fine.
Received.
Okay, they're going to be entering that. Never mind. Oh, Unhung Hero. Did Jeff just admit he isn't a lawyer? Sure, he's not afraid of the microphone. Now, only in-court lawyers in most televised trials are afraid.
Ms. Beecham, you were just shown Defense Exhibit 288, which was an email between, you to Mr. Anderson on the 18th of May. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And previously yesterday, you had talked about a conversation you and the defendant had all the way back in February of 2020 regarding how you saw your relationship moving forward, with you saying you just wanted to set up a schedule with the kids.
Correct.
Is this email in reference to your ultimate goal, which is to set up a reliable schedule for your children?
Yes.
Is there any mention in this email of wanting to get back together with him?
No.
Is there any language in here that says hugs and kisses from you to him?
No.
Is there any pet names or anything special you call him here regarding your deep love and affection for him that you've had all these years?
No.
So ultimately, was this you just trying to put a permanent schedule in place to make it regular for the kids?
Objection leading.
Why was it important to you to put a permanent schedule in place?
To avoid any more conflict with him and to just keep it cut and dry to the kids and exchanging.
Now, on this day, you had testified that you had attempted to reach Mr. Gutierrez multiple times.
Yes.
And at that point, you hadn't yet driven down to Kenosha and seen the scene, accurate?
Correct.
So does this email have anything to do with your worry for Mr. Gutierrez?
No.
Now, we previously talked about May 7th and you catching your daughter with a phone that you indicated she was supposed to record you on. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
And that you had taken that phone from her and ultimately looked through it for the Amazon purchase that you then showed on the screen?
Yes.
Objection leading.
I'm just trying to get to the question just orienting this.
You're still leading.
And after you took that phone from your daughter and did the investigation into the Amazon purchases, what, if anything, did you do on that phone search-wise?
Nothing that I recall. I just was looking for the videos that I was told that were on there, and then I was looking to see if there was any other evidence of.
You had previously testified that the defendant has a number of different phones. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And so I specifically shown you State's Exhibit 112, which was the flip phone, and 113, which was the Moto G6 phone that you call a burner phone.
Yes.
Were there additional phones that you were aware of that the defendant had?
Yes.
No objections have been asked and answered on direct.
Your Honor, they then went into what phone was recovered on the 7th.
The objections are moved.
And directing your attention to then May 7th, after you had done your cursory search of the phone, did you use that phone that you had found that night for any other purposes that night?
No.
I'm approaching you with what's been marked as State's Exhibit 287. Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure where they're going with that. Did you use the phone for anything else that day? But I guess we'll just have to see. Shady Sadie says, Unhung Hero, thank you so much for that super chat. Tom Tillich, my dogs are cuter than yours. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. Well, are we rebooting? Please. Oh God, they actually were kind of buffering there. I was like worried. Jeff, you're blind and I'm deaf. You shout into the mic constantly and it's screwing with the imbalanced audio. As has been mentioned, my volume is maintained. It's maintained. It's balanced as perfectly as it can. The cord volume goes up, cord volume goes down. As you've heard, sometimes you've got a lot of this airplane background noise. Sometimes just deathly quiet. Sometimes they're really low. Sometimes they walk away from the microphone. Sometimes they're shouting into it. That's beyond my control. So
celebrate reports regarding the Moto G6 phone web activity from May 7th of 2020. What time approximately do you remember in terms of time of day you finding this phone on your daughter that you then confiscated?
I found it would have been at night. Yeah, it would have been at night. I feel like the next day maybe I looked, or I can't remember.
So the phone you found on your daughter, you found the night of the 7th?
Correct.
So I'm going to show you the web search history and message history for the G6 phone from that same night and inquire if, based on this activity, this was you on this phone or this phone was not the one you located on your phone.
Okay.
So we'll go to, I apologize, it's going to be page 4 of this exhibit. You see at the right where it keeps saying web history?
Yes.
And then it shows time frames of 11:08.
Oh, that's very clear. Legal vices. Why is the male DA object?
We're talking about web history on the Moto G6 at 11:08 p.m. Last visited something called Flex Steel Curved Couch OBO Furniture. See that at the top?
Yeah.
Then below that, 5/7 at 11:09 p.m. Milwaukee for sale couch on Craigslist. See that?
Yeah.
5/7 at 11:10 p.m. recliner couch love seat furniture. See that?
Yeah.
Are these any searches that you are doing on the phone you found on Olivia on the 7th of May?
No.
So
and she just named the daughter again.
that is having these searches be done on it wasn't you.
Objection, leading and argumentative.
So
The objection is sustained.
So this Moto G6 is searching for these things. That's not you.
I'm going to object again, then speculative, argumentative.
I'm just going to continue on with additional searches that occur on this phone. So 5/7, we continue to look at couches. Is that accurate on this Moto G6 phone?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And are any of those you?
No.
What?
11:25 Milwaukee for sale couch. Is that you?
No.
I'm just going to skip some pages here.
Somebody was searching for furniture on the burner phone and it wasn't her? I'm confused.
Jumping to page number 8 of this exhibit of the Moto G6 search history from that night. Into the early morning hours. Now we're at actually 5/8 at 4:50 a.m. Back on Craigslist for jobs for a couch. Do you see all those?
Yes.
Well, who's using the phone to search for couches and all this other stuff? It's certainly not a 12-year-old girl.
5:01 a.m. Is that you?
No.
Now, you had previously talked about other phones that the defendant had had. Are you familiar with those phones as well?
Yes.
So are you sure exactly which phone your daughter had that night that she was trying to record you with?
I don't know the exact phone.
But the search history from the G6 isn't you?
No. There were 3 Moto G6 or 3 of those.
When you say there were 3 of those, who owned 3 of these?
He had 3 of those Moto 6s. They were all the same kind of phone.
Okay, so you recovered what you believe to be a Moto G6 phone, you're just not sure which one?
Correct.
Wasn't there 4 phones a while ago?
Language about the defendant, and excuse the terminology, fucking with you and you fucking back with the defendant. You remember that?
Yes.
What was your emotional mindset at that time regarding what the defendant was doing?
Well, I was upset. I was scared. I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do anymore. I reached out for help and asked, but was told that there was nothing I could do unless I had proof. So, yeah, I just
Where's the evidence?
I just wanted it all.
Where's the
to
evidence?
Stop. I wanted all of it to just stop.
And that specific text was from May 10th of 2020. Was some of that frustration that you just described regarding finding the planted phone?
Objection leading.
What about the defendant's behavior in the days preceding that made you so frustrated?
Finding the phone was definitely a big deal. And just everything leading up to it seemed like it just kept getting more and more amped up, more and more. There were more things I was finding out, more information that was trickling in. The fact that my daughter was telling me she had knowledge of things that was very frustrating. I felt like I didn't have control of the situation, and I just wanted to try to be as amicable as possible, and he wasn't allowing us to do that. And so it just became frustrating, and I just felt like just angry.
You've previously been shown some text messages between yourself and
That's some
Gutierrez
stuff
regarding
right there.
Mr. Gutierrez talking about wanting to beat his ass. You remember those?
Yeah.
What were the emotions going on in your life regarding the defendant's behavior that led to you having those feelings at that point?
I guess I'm going to object to the form of the question. She was talking about the text messages Mr. Gutierrez sent.
I'll rephrase. During that text exchange, your frustration, I guess, were you frustrated during that text exchange between
That
you
sounds a
and
little leading.
Rosalio?
We were both frustrated. I think, I was trying to explain to him what was going on and inform him what was going on, that I was frustrated. We were only together for a few months, but we talked a lot, and we really had a good connection, and I really trusted him, and it felt like he really wanted to protect me from that, and genuinely. And so I think he was just trying to make me feel better and just trying to be a nice person and, you know, just making me feel protected. I think that's all that really was.
Wow. John Diaz says, I'm sure this has been addressed, but just in case, do you know you're not streaming to Rumble currently? Figured you would be dual streaming. Nope, I have never concurrently streamed to Rumble. Rumble is just sort of the backup. They get uploaded to however long it takes after this show finishes to get uploaded to Rumble. I've never streamed to Rumble, and I won't in the foreseeable future. It's just a holding space. Chaos Coordinator watching from PC, listening from phone. Phone stream audio is perfect. PC one sucks. Don't know why. I blame YouTube. Hope everyone has a good day. Yep, I'm just not addressing anything audio related anymore. That ship is sailed.
Number of phone calls that you had placed to Mr. Gutierrez on 5/18 and 5/19. Do you recall those questions?
Yes.
And you were asked whether or not you remembered leaving a voicemail. Do you recall that question?
Yes.
If you wouldn't have left a voicemail, why would that have been?
Objection, relevance, and speculation.
If she knows, she can answer.
I didn't typically leave a message, so I don't know that I really would have. Maybe I would have, but I don't really recall if I did or didn't. If I did, it would have just been quick.
And in your previous conversations with Mr. Gutierrez, was he usually quick to respond to you?
Yes.
So did the length of time with him not responding cause you concern?
Objection, leaving.
So why on May 18th were you caused concern based on the lack of contact with Mr. Gutierrez?
Because that morning I didn't get, well, actually the previous night, I didn't get a good night text. And so that was alarming, or just, I wasn't sure. And then that morning I didn't get a good morning text. And so I thought that was weird. And then I text him. And then I texted him in the afternoon again, and I still didn't get a response. And that started me kind of thinking that something was wrong or that maybe something happened. So that's what, it definitely was unusual that he didn't respond to me.
So you have no interest in maintaining the quality of your stream and only care about the donors. Bye, Leon. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. You need to figure out how things work. You know, when you speak from ignorance, you show your ignorance. Bye now.
Thank you.
Any recross?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
recross.
you. You said just now that you really trusted Mr. Gutierrez, correct?
I felt I could trust him, yes.
Did you know that on May 17th,
Yes.
evening of May 17th, 2020, Mr. Gutierrez had planned to have a date with a different woman?
Irrelevant. Objection.
What's the relevance of
The
that?
relevance is if she trusted him, she's saying she trusted him, and also she's saying that she hadn't heard from him in the morning or evening of May 17th, morning of May 18th. If she knows if he was with another woman, then that could have provided an explanation to why he wasn't texting her.
Overall, you can answer the question.
I didn't know that he was meeting with anyone. Per our conversations and our interactions, I didn't have any reason to feel like he was interested in anybody else. You know, also I understand that new relationships are difficult. So, you know, I didn't know anything about it, but I didn't have any reason to feel like he was lying to me or that he was looking elsewhere.
So she didn't know, but she would understand.
Redirect.
No, thank you.
You may step down, man.
Sort of a shorter witness? What would be your preference?
Well, probably somebody about.
Judge, before I do that, I just moved the state's 287 into evidence.
No objection.
All right. I don't know about a shorter witness. Brief, short.
Ha 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 ha. Height joke.
5'10".
Height joke.
Let's. I'll leave it in your hands.
Okay.
Although we will be taking a break probably within 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
We'll do a brief witness.
Yeah.
Brief.
A brief witness.
Not short.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
most people are short through Mr. Gray.
No witness has been.
Can we
either
stop
brief
making
or short.
height jokes, please?
Yeah. So we have
All right. Well, let's get back to these donors that I care so much about. Wolfram yes, the prosecution showed a pink slip with Leo's address and his dad's name as signature. And it's Ozzy, and then Sadie said that it was Zach's handwriting, but Leo's
You
mom
solemnly
said
swear
she
the
filled it out.
testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Please be seated.
Detective Howard, how are you employed?
With the City of Kenosha Police Department.
And your names are Marty or Martin Howard. Can you spell Howard, please, for the record?
His mic's not working.
Of course, the mic's not working.
I think
Probably my fucking phone.
Howard.
And Detective Howard, how long have you been employed with the Kenosha Police Department?
For 11 years.
How long have you been a detective?
For 4 years.
That's old. That's a
As
boomer there.
part of your duties, were you on duty as a detective on May 21st, 2000? I'm sorry, 2020, apologize.
Yes.
Okay, and on that date, were you assigned a task to see if you could figure out the details of a Walmart receipt?
Yes, I was provided a photo of a Walmart receipt that was partially legible.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 115 and ask you to take that out. And what my question is this document, or is whatever is in State's Exhibit 115, is it what was depicted in the picture that was sent to you? Okay. You can take it out with the jury.
All right, put on the gloves, take out the receipt. And Atomic Squid, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You're a donor that I care so much about. Is it just me, or does that prosecutor sound flustered AF during those objections? He really does. He's getting flustered because it's damaging his case that he doesn't really have a good one to begin with. And Flux, another donor I care so much about. I'm sorry, I'm going to make myself laugh. I'm an idiot. It was totally Sadie. And here for the truth, poor daughter, stuck in the middle of this mess, right? And Ben Ogle.
Yes.
Objection.
Does that appear to be the same document that you received a picture of?
Yes.
And how are you able to tell that? So in other words, what are the details of that you recall so that you know it's the same document?
When I received the photo, I recalled that Walmart was just barely legible at the top of the receipt. The entire middle portion of the receipt was illegible. There was a barcode at the bottom of the receipt, which was almost complete. And then there was what appeared to be 12 digits of a transaction code that were at the bottom of that receipt, with some digits missing at the end, and all that matches with this.
And as to 115, could you see a date on there of the transaction?
Yes, there's also the date of May 18th, 2020 at 8:36 a.m.
All right, so those two things are legible on 115 as well? On Exhibit 115?
Yes.
Okay, so the picture you had appears to be a true and accurate copy of what you see in Exhibit 115 then?
Yes, absolutely.
The picture does not appear to be changed or altered in any way from what you're seeing in 115?
Correct.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, then you had a date of a transaction, a time, a store, and part of a barcode. Did I have that? Do I have that summary correct?
Only Walmart. I don't know what.
What did I say?
Yeah. You said a store.
Oh,
but yeah,
yes.
I just know that it's a Walmart receipt at that
Okay.
time.
And date, time, and a large portion of a barcode, correct?
Correct.
All right. And what did you decide to do with the document that you had a picture of?
I went to the Kenosha Walmart at 3500 Brumback Boulevard, and my plan was I felt the best option to get clarity on the receipt was approach a manager and see if a manager would be able to scan that barcode at the bottom of the receipt.
Ultimately, in that effort, did you speak to a person named Paul Webb at Kmart? I'm sorry, at Walmart?
Yes.
All right. And was that also on May 21st?
Correct.
And without you knowing exactly what Mr. Webb did you then leave that task with a document in hand?
Yes, I was with Paul Webb. He first tried to scan the barcode and that did not work. And then I was with him for approximately 30 minutes as he attempted to put different numbers at the end to complete a transaction code. And approximately 30 minutes later, he was able to produce a transaction code.
And then did he generate a document based on those efforts?
Yes.
Without you knowing the details of those efforts, through his efforts, he generated a document for you?
Correct.
I'm going to show you now what's
I'm
been
going
marked.
to object to this coming in at this point.
He's going to ask questions. I didn't hear anything about coming in.
I'm not introducing it at this point. We have, obviously, there are still foundational witnesses. I'm just asking his testimony on these exhibits before they can be exhibits that would be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So as to.
Well, Judge, I guess I'm going to object to if he's going to have the witness read what the contents of that are.
He didn't ask that.
Okay.
I don't think he requested that the witness read it.
She's like,
Read it
okay.
himself, to review it, but not read it, not publish it.
Well, you did say that?
Well, he's going to look at it himself, but not publish it in any way.
Judge is not paying attention
That's
today,
what I
man.
understood was
Yeah.
going to be the question. Okay.
Can I proceed?
Good.
Yeah. I'm going to show you now what's been marked in State's Exhibit 256. Ask you to take a look at this document. Is that a document that you received from the manager at Walmart during the stuff that you talked about?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at that document and just
Stop,
indicate.
guys. You don't have to
In
do
terms of the document you were provided, is it a true and accurate copy of the document you were provided by Paul Webb, a manager at Walmart?
Yes.
Okay. And does it appear to be changed or altered in any way?
No.
Okay. And then, so what, if anything, did you do with this exhibit? So after you received it from the Walmart employee, what did you do next?
I observed it, and I observed that the date and time at the bottom of this document matched the photo of the receipt that I had obtained. And then there was more information on this document, including a location for the Walmart and 12 items that were purchased, and also the total.
So without talking any more about the details, thank you. What did you physically do with the document next? Did you share it with someone? Did you drive somewhere? In general, what did you do next with the document?
At this time, Detective Brightshaft and Detective Antaramian were driving to the Mequon area to do canvassing of surveillance footage. And I notified them immediately and told them that they should respond to the Saukville Walmart to look at surveillance footage there.
And did you provide him a copy of this exhibit?
Yes.
And can you just one more time say what the number of that exhibit is?
256.
Okay. So you provided a copy of 256 to Detectives Antaramian and Brightshaft, who were proceeding up in the area of the Saukville Walmart. Is that correct?
Yes. After I notified them of this, they rerouted from Mequon to the Saukville Walmart.
Okay. You're all having fun with the bright shaft thing.
I have nothing else regarding this exhibit at this time, Judge.
Your involvement in this case was more than just your Walmart investigation, correct?
Correct.
You had interviewed several people as well.
Correct.
You interviewed Christine Remsburg.
Correct.
That, your knowledge, what was her relation to Mr. Anderson?
Objection would call for hearsay.
To his,
Well, you asked to your knowledge,
what
but,
was her relation to Mr. Anderson?
but your question began with to your knowledge, and that would suggest that the information came from a source other than hearsay.
Why did you want to interview Ms. Remsburg?
She's looking like, is that good enough for you, Judge?
Because I was advised that she had a relationship with Mr. Anderson.
And you also interviewed Joshua Anderson.
Yes.
Why did you interview him?
He is the brother to Zachariah Anderson.
In this investigation, you also were tasked with reviewing and listening to reports, 911 calls, things of that sort.
I did not review reports. That's usually delegated to the lead detective, but did you say 911 calls?
Yeah.
I listened to a 911 call once while at Mequon PD, and then I obtained a copy of a 911 call to bring back to Kenosha PD and enter in evidence.
What 911 call did you review?
It was a 911 call from Zachariah Anderson to Mequon PD, I believe from his residence.
Do you remember the summary or the essence of what that 911 call was?
Objection, that's hearsay.
Not asking for specific statements, just a summary.
No, I'm
Question
not.
was whether he remembered.
She asked for a summary. She asked for a summary of the hearsay 911 call. That was the question.
Stop it.
And I also
Pay
talked
attention
about
to the
business records if we want to go down that road.
Man, how did I miss so much of that question?
Because you're like a billion years old and you're
just
not
for the-
paying attention, Judge.
Just
You're
to
not doing
excuse
well.
myself.
Judge is really off his game today.
This is
seriously.
not my regular assignment, the trial of criminal cases. I'm now on a different assignment, and I'm still trying some criminal cases, but I also have to deal with these civil issues, and some of them are quite time sensitive, so. But I sure don't recall all that content. Why don't you rephrase your question?
Do you remember what the 911 call was about?
Well, that certainly opens the door to hearsay. I don't know, but it certainly would. It's starting off that way.
So he's been asked questions so far.
I don't think there needs to be an argument on it.
Pardon me?
I can,
No, I don't need an argument. It's starting off as hearsay.
you're aware of how
Does he have
law
a
enforcement
diabetes?
agencies maintain business records?
Every different agencies do maintain records differently. There's lots of different record systems. I have knowledge on how Kenosha PD retains some records, but I do not know how Mequon PD obtains theirs.
Sure, but you had, in this particular situation, you said that you took a copy of that 911 recording, correct?
Correct.
So when you took it, it then was processed into Kenosha Police Department's evidence log and property, correct?
Correct.
Explain how that works.
So Judge, I'm going to object because this is still calling for a statement from the defendant.
I'm not
So this
asking
is-
that.
This is, yeah.
That was not my question.
I have to agree. I didn't.
Area of inquiry.
Pardon me?
The whole area of inquiry. So let's say we qualify this as a business record. It is still a statement of the defendant, and it's not a party opponent. So it's still going to be here. You can't play.
But her question, this question does not ask what you fear. It suggests it's coming.
Right, and I'm trying to save the time. I'm I'm trying to get the court to understand that even if we got through this.
The question of its on its own is non-objectionable.
Did you need me to repeat the question?
Yes.
I don't remember it verbatim, but it was to the point of if you could explain to the jury when something's received into evidence, what that means, how that whole process works.
When you say received into evidence, that's a term we use around here all the time.
That's why I'm asking.
You're talking about it at the police department.
That's why I'm asking him to
You're not
explain
talking
that to
yeah.
the jury, correct?
Okay.
As it relates to the 911 call. If you could explain the process of logging it, processing it to the jury.
I believe it was copied onto a CD or a DVD from Mequon PD, which was then brought to Kenosha PD and entered into our evidence.
And when you said entered into your evidence, who maintains control of that?
There's an evidence department of Kenosha Joint Services, and that's an entity that assists Kenosha Police Department and Kenosha County Sheriff's Department.
Right. So related to law enforcement.
Yes.
And a copy of that disc still exists to your knowledge?
Yes.
Because he touched some evidence about 15 minutes ago and forgot to take them off, apparently.
You were also tasked with trying to obtain additional documentation or information pertaining to the investigation.
Yes.
One of those things was Mr. Gutierrez's rental agreement.
Yes.
And had you been in correspondence with the manager of Wood Creek Apartments, Caitlin Ryan?
Yes. Yes, that was brief. We did speak.
And you provided that all the information you gathered from that conversation to Detective Correa?
I believe so.
Do you remember creating a NAMIS case as well for Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what that is?
NAMIS is it's primarily a website. It's operated by the federal government, arm of the Department of Justice. And what NAMIS is, it's the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. One of the main goals of NAMIS is to connect missing persons with unidentified human remains. So the website is open to the public, but there's a section of the website that is only accessible by like law enforcement and medical examiners offices.
And so you created the case. Can you explain to a jury what creating a case means as it relates to this particular case?
Yeah, so I created the NAMIS profile for Rosalio Gutierrez on the website, so it's still there today. In creating the profile, what I did was try to obtain unique identifying physical characteristics of Rosalio Gutierrez and enter that into the website.
And you had obtained that information from those close to him, such as his mother?
Yes, primarily his mother.
And to your knowledge, are you tasked with keeping up to date if there are any hits from NAMIS?
So there are people in the DOJ that work within NAMIS because, as mentioned earlier, different police departments keep different records. This is a clearinghouse where there's information at a central location, and then people from the DOJ can look at unidentified human remains and also look at identifying characteristics of NAMIS profiles and make matches when there are matches.
And
At the bobblehead
also at a time, you spoke with Miss Patterson, Mr. Gutierrez's mother, on several occasions or twice.
It was a couple times.
One of those times, do you remember asking her for dental records for Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes.
And why were you asking her about the dental records?
Because that is one way where if there were bones recovered in a location, there are some unique aspects to how people have different teeth, and there was a potential for identification if a body was ever located that matched.
And were you given those dental records?
Yes,
And did you review those dental records?
it was a couple images which I uploaded to the NAMUS profile. I don't know how dental records work in identifying features of those, but I did observe pictures of teeth, x-rays.
What was the Walmart receipt?
Where people are asking, where is Chandler? Don't know. Haven't heard from her. I assume she's fast asleep, or perhaps her migraine came back. I don't know. Haven't heard from her.
Exhibit 115, which was, yeah, the Walmart exhibit. You just reviewed that right now, correct?
Correct.
You hadn't reviewed this particular exhibit in person before today, or had you?
I've not seen this in person until today. I saw a picture of it on May 21st, 2020.
And when you saw a picture of it, where was it? Was it where it was originally found, or was it in the evidence room?
I don't know exactly where it was. I believe there was a manila envelope in the background and a pair of latex gloves holding the receipt up in front of the camera.
Okay.
The picture being taken.
Okay. So on the back, so I guess I'm just going to show it up here on the Elmo. So this is the front of it, correct?
Yes.
Then I'm going to flip it around. The back is fine. You can fully read it, correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions. Subject to
Detective Howard, you were asked whether you entered a case into NAMUS, N-A-M-U-S. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did that case get entered by you on May 22nd, 2020?
That sounds right.
So that was 3 days after the crime scene that over at Wood Creek?
Yes.
Nothing else?
Any question? You may step down.
Okay.
Break. Please don't talk about the case during the break. Read, watch, or listen to any count of the trial. 10 to 15 minutes. Any question? Okay.
All right. So Aussie Overlord may be getting up sometime around now. Sort of usually when this, I'll send him the link now here. Yes, Detective Howard was one of the main detectives from Rittenhouse. He was on the stand for quite a bit of time. You can take your gloves off now. All right. I assume that they're not going to come back and say anything. So we'll just pop it out here and drop it like it's hot. All right. Yeah, Hayden wakes up around 2:30, 3:30 a.m. so he can stream the trial. I mean, he doesn't do it every day, just for streaming the trial. All right. Well, let's go through some of these super chats from the donors that I care so much about. And if you missed that whole thing, it was kind of funny. But right now we've got we got 1,926 people here. Welcome everybody for sticking through this. This thing is just, it's not getting any better. The prosecution has some huge problems, and the judge is way off his game today. Judge Schroeder is not in peak performance mode today. I don't know. Are your dogs bulldogs? Just asking because I have a bully breed in which is a pit bull. They're purebred English bulldogs, both of them. So, all right, let's go through some of these super chats here and some of the other non-super chats, because I do care about some of you. But I've been accused of only caring about my donors and not the ears of you other 1,927 that are here. We've got 1,100 likes. So there's about 800 of you that haven't hit that like button. If you've been here more than about 30 seconds, I know you like it because you've stuck around. But what I would be honored if you would just do me the pleasure of hitting that like button. Let YouTube know you like me so we get in the algorithm, we get moving on. And I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel as well, because we do a lot of this, and it seems like we're going to go back in time. And when this trial finishes up, hopefully by Wednesday of next week, they'll have a verdict. Perhaps Wednesday or Thursday, we'll have a verdict on this case, and then we'll go back and we'll start doing this this other weird trial that's going on right now. So we'll go back and do that later. We'll watch like the morning session one day and afternoon session the next day, and we'll just keep going. And if that's what you want, we'll talk about it later. We got some more time to worry about that. But I would be honored if you would do me the favor and the great. I would just cry if you would subscribe to the channel. How many subscribers do we have now? Oh gosh, we've picked up about 20 subscribers since we started. Thank you, everybody. You are so awesome. I really, really respect that. We're at 35,621 now. We're looking at that 36,000 mark. So if there's like 372 of you that haven't subscribed, get down there and subscribe, and let's get me up to 36,000. We're on this slow, steady march to 50,000. That's coming up. I want to get there by my birthday in July. So we're crushing it. We're marching slowly to the 50,000 mark. And then come on back over here and take our like and subscribe poll. Let's see how we're doing on the like and subscribe poll. I hit the like and subscribe button, and 21% of you said, now I need my space. 22% of you said, I hit the like and subscribe button and put a tracking device on you. 27% of you said, I hit the like and subscribe button. That means I murdered you, obviously. And 30% of you, and the number one response, I hit the like and subscribe button, XOXO. All trial-related, mild, sad attempts at humor. But continue doing that. We'll grift this probably one more time before we hit the end. Hit the like button, the subscribe button. And regardless of what some of the disgruntled viewers hear and think, I don't only care about the donors. In fact, everybody that sends anything gets theirs read, and I still try to interact with the other chats. So yeah, let's read some more of these, and then we'll get on with the show here. As a donor, I feel valued. Well, been there, done that. Appreciate that. And bonus points for you for having such a handsome, handsome lad there in your profile picture. Duncan, Idaho. I sadly had to move on from Natalie Wisco. Oh yeah, when you found out she was in a relationship. But the eyes and the competence of the defense attorney here, Nicole Muller, she's so hot right now. All right. Indigo Luna, here to donate, not pledge. Oh, Indigo, that's a cute little profile picture you got there too. Thank you so much, Indigo. Always a pleasure to see you. John Gordon, care about me, Jeff. I know you want to. I care about everybody. Just Don, love me, Vice Daddy. Thank you very much, Soulless Ginger. Notes on a plane. You donate your time, I donate my money. You guys crack me up. Unhung Hero, my bright shaft is made of bone steel. I was going to do the bone steel thing, but then I realized I don't have my stream deck set up, so can't do the bone steel voice. So I apologize for that. We'll make up for it somehow. Marv White says, I'm late. Is Jeff begging money? No. If Jeff doesn't begging money, ? Well, not for free, good sir. No, I'm not begging money. Someone just accused me of only caring about my donors. Wifey wants to know what the Daybell coverage will be. Right now, my understanding of the Daybell trial will be, at least with hers, there will be no video. There will be audio, but the audio will be released after the day's hearing is completed. That's my understanding of how that's working today. And I understand there's some motions being made to try to get it televised or broadcast. So we'll have to see how that works out. But right now, my understanding is it'll be audio only, and the audio will be released after the day's hearing is completed. The Apostle Steve, show me on the doll where the non-donor hurt you, Jeff. It made me laugh. Lacey, the judge is off his rocker today. I normally don't do these assignments. WTF, the defendant was like, great news. Yeah, oops. After Rittenhouse, he moved on to mostly civil matters. He still does a couple of criminal things. Does the judge not paying attention open the grounds for a mistrial? No, because the judge would have to be the one to declare the mistrial, and he's not going to say, "Oh, wait a minute, I wasn't paying attention." Mistrial. It might be grounds for appeal if the defense, if he's convicted, and if the defense feels there was some important question that he missed because he wasn't paying attention and ruled improperly. But the likelihood's not really that high. Oh, and Lacey also says red is your color, Vices. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Fire Red Podcast. Oh, wait. You're not a donor, but I read you out of order. Yeah, dang it. So, well, I forgive you. What tobacco are you smoking today? I am smoking Cornell and Deal's a small batch from Beyond from about 2 years ago, I believe. It's about a 2-year-old tobacco, yeah. Cornell and Deal's small batch from Beyond. Nick Campbell, the investigator, processed the missing persons and prosecution only wanted him for a Walmart receipt. Make it make sense. The questions get in, I guess, somehow. I mean, it's not you can bring him in for whatever purpose. The main reason he was there, I guess, was for the receipt. But that means like we've got to look forward to the 2 guys from Walmart that the judge told them to bring. Where are we at here? Jacob's Proud Madre. Hey, welcome. Always a pleasure to see you here, Jacob's Proud Madre. I will always pay you to listen to my chat. Whatever makes me special. FYI, I'm 15 minutes behind. Well, welcome to 15 minutes in the future. Now, all of these people that I reportedly don't care about. Legal Vices, why is the male DA objecting? If the female did the direct, should only one person do the questioning and objections? Normally, there isn't a fast and hard rule about that. Some judges like only one person to talk, but normally they do that. One person, whoever is doing the questioning, gets the objections, just because if there's 3 lawyers making objections at the same time, the court reporter can't write everything down. But he's mentioned that before in this case, because I think it was the DA asked him, can we just do that? Can we have whoever's making the questions do the objections, or have one person ask questions and one person do objections? And he said the court reporter hasn't said she had a problem with it, so we'll just let it go. So that's the answer to that question. Notes on a phone. Is it a chicken doner though? I had a great chicken doner kebab in Seoul after Legal Mindset went to sleep last Friday. He went back to his place, and I was walking back to my hotel room, and there was a great little kebab place that was open, so I had me a chicken doner. That was pretty good. Anyway, Legal Vices, DB says, you'll get more donations in the long run if your listeners don't have to spend all their money on hearing aids. Well, just so everybody knows about this, again, I'll just mention this one more time, just for the fun of it. What I hear is not what my guests hear, and what we hear is not what you hear, because what happens is all of my settings are stable, and it goes into StreamYard. StreamYard automatically adjusts the volume how it sees fit before it feeds it into YouTube. Once it gets to YouTube, YouTube does another balancing act with the audio. And then when you're in a situation like this, where, like I said, the court sometimes, they're talking, shrieking into the microphone. Sometimes they're talking normally into the microphone. Sometimes they're wandering away from the microphone. Sometimes there's a lot of ambient noise. That just messes with the level. And in the back of the courtroom, sometimes you'll see, as you're looking towards the back of the courtroom, on the far left back corner is a guy with a big box. He's the audio engineer. So he's screwing with all the dials and levels too before their court feed gets to us. And basically, trials are always a shit show volume-wise. Now, if I had a trusty, dedicated producer-type person that was sitting there manually adjusting the levels quickly, it'd be a little bit better, but not a lot. But that's kind of the story of the audio. And weirdly, if you go back and watch this on YouTube, after you end the broadcast, they kind of reprocess everything and balance everything out. So all of these volume issues won't exist to people in the replay crew. Another fun fact. Lacey, Legal Vices, you look great in red. Thank you. Fire Red Podcast, we already did that one. B. Jefferson, Is he still listed as missing? Yes. As to the best of my knowledge, he is still listed as a missing person. And Bifrons, witness has PTSD from Rittenhouse. Yes, he probably does, because we just mentioned that. And Lord Bynum, are you going to start crying because your co-host is missing, Jeff, or should we wait a couple of hours, lol? I've already joked about that to her, by the way. Do I need to show up at your house and call the police? But anywho. All right, so that takes care of the chats that got here before I started reading the chats. And we've got a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, maybe the judge is watching another trial stream at work. I don't know what's up with the judge today. He's really, really off his game. Perhaps he needs to produce another orange from his man bag. Oh, Lady Autumn Sky, congrats on your sub count. Onward to 36K. Yeah, that'll be fun. That's like just baby steps, get up there. They convict this DA yet. And yeah, for those of you that watched the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, the DA here, the Jay Leno, Malcolm McDowell, Steve Martin hybrid guy, he is Binger's boss. So you know where Binger learned all of his shady techniques and his shitty handling of cases. He learned it from this guy that's sitting in this chair. Spike Meadow says, "Nice hat, Jeff. This is the hat for the local professional baseball team here in Busan, the Lotte Giants. The preseason just started. It started on Monday, so got to support the home team." All right, we collected a few more here. Saying cuckoo cuckoo, I am the walrus. I am the Eggman. Oh dear. Nice. Nice walrus blast there. See, now I need to be more Wilford Brimley. Got the diabetes. Let's get this out of my face here. Totally not a Russian bot. Maybe Judge has bad news. Wife had a hospital visit. Could be. Wolfram, unsub and resub 15,000 times. There, did that work to get you to 50K? Oh, I wish that's how it worked. I would farm that workout in a heartbeat. Marv White, sorry for all my typos. Fat, arthritic fingers on a mobile device. My fingers aren't arthritic, but other than that, yeah, I get you. And glitter fart, XOXO, XOXO at you, and heart, and all that other stuff. Boomer, wow, I'm super gruntled now. Appreciate you. Yeah, we don't want you to be disgruntled. The fact you're super gruntled, that makes me happy inside. Dick Saucer, Judge is going to see, what? Judge Laser is going to see lasered to the Jets and no Aaron Rodgers' fate. He will end the trial in despair. Wow, that was a good one. I want to know what Detective Longhard was doing during this investigation. Good. Another good blast there. Right. Well, all right. So what have we come to see here during this first little bit? Let me bring up my notes here. She, and of course, she is the ex-girlfriend. I'm finding that her testimony was even less believable than it was yesterday, because we got in some good meaty cross-examination there. You were still calling, she was still calling her ex babe. Oh, hang on, we have a Chandler sighting here. Oh my. She says she's feeling really sick this morning. Send her a quick sorry to hear that message. Feel better. Sorry here, hang on. All right, send her a little text. So Chandler will not be here. She is feeling incredibly sick this morning. So sorry to hear that. So they broke up in 2012. He moved out. They were on again, off again until 2017. Let me get rid of this here. There we go. They were on again, off again until 2017. But she still called him babe and Z-Bear into 2019 or 2020. And she just said out of habit. I was married to my ex-wife for 20 years, together for 16. And I've never continued to call her babe or dear out of habit. That's just something that's never happened. So I'm not buying that story at all. You break up with someone and then you still call them their pet names out of habit. Nah. Chandler. Flux for Chandler. XO Chandler. Oh, that's so nice of you, Flux. And Dick Saucer again. Got a promotion today, so I'm sharing the love with the law racks while I should be working. Well, don't get demoted that quickly. keep it normal. So yeah, she said she's using these pet names out of habit. That's just weird, and I don't believe it for a second. And I like that. I like the question when she was asked, "Do you remember saying that you would fuck with him?" And she didn't remember. And said, well, okay, let's look at the texts. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, where they were just cherry picking the text that they wanted to highlight and not giving the context, not raising other texts around the ones that the prosecution was trying to get in. And then they actively tried to prevent her from getting these ones they didn't want in. And apparently this was one of them, because they said she said between two highlighted texts that the DA brought in yesterday was one that says, "You are stupid for trying to fuck with me, so you get fucked with back." Yeah, the DA didn't want that to come in. But then she says, oh no, when she's saying you're stupid for trying to fuck with me, so you get fucked with back, she said, oh, and that was just banter, and she was just trying to appease things and make them go away and keep the peace. That's not how you appease someone, by telling them you're going to fuck with them. Official Rogan said, "Here, my donor money. Now you have to care about me. Lol. Keep up the good work and kicking ass." Hey, I care about everybody. Everybody, donors and non-donors alike, I care about. But as the pigs on the animal farm said, some people are more equal than others. Some pigs are more equal than others. Or some animals. Yeah, some animals are more equal than others. So, all right, and I don't. Did you guys believe any of this stuff? It was just banter. I was just venting. I was just trying to keep the peace. So I said, "You're stupid for trying to fuck with me, so you get fucked with back." Yeah, stupid. And I did like the fact that the judge called her out on her bullshit answers 4 times. Told her to just answer the question 4 times when she was kind of dodging around. And as some of you mentioned this in chat, when she was saying that the tool belt was out of place, she noticed the tool belt was out of place. When she'd only seen him a few times, but she knew enough but she didn't tell even if she knew the seat belt, if she knew the tool belt was out of place, she didn't immediately tell the investigators on the scene. But she denied also saying she immediately said that she suspected the defendant. But yet yesterday when she was testifying, she said that they asked her, "Do you know who could have done this?" And she said something to the effect of, "No, but my daughter was telling me that my ex-boyfriend was doing some really weird and I can't remember what the word she used. It was like weird and difficult or different stuff or something like that." But then here again today, she says that she told the investigator that her daughter had pertinent information, and she told the detective that the defendant took the registration out of Gutierrez's car. That's totally different than what she testified about yesterday, when she was saying what she told the officer and what her daughter was saying. It's just totally different. And then we got to the cross-examination again on this weird statement. And this was probably my favorite part of the testimony this morning, was when she said that when she was asked, well, why would you tell your 12-year-old daughter, your 11-year-old daughter, why would you tell her that your boyfriend is missing? And she said, well, that my daughter could see that I was upset and asked what's wrong. So I told her that my friend was missing. And then the question was, well, you didn't know he was missing on the 18th. when you told her this. You didn't know he was missing yet. And then there was that very long pause. I told because he was missing and I was upset, so I told my daughter that. But you didn't know she was missing when you told your daughter that. Long pause, and then well, I couldn't get in touch with him, so in my eyes, he was missing. That was a bullshit answer, and that to me looked like a woman who had just been caught in a huge lie. There was nothing that rang true about that entire exchange. And I thought the defense just asked that question perfectly. She got her to say why she told her daughter that. And okay, but why'd you tell her that when she wasn't missing yet, or was missing because I couldn't see him? That was a bad answer for someone who fucked up and got caught and couldn't think of a better answer than that on the fly. And the question that I wish the judge would have let them explore a little bit more, but he kind of got sidetracked and didn't hear questions and things, was when they were talking about in November 2020, when the investigators wanted to interview the daughter, and she wanted to be there the second time, even though she wasn't there the first time. And she was asked, well, why did you want to be there the second time when you weren't there the first time? But Judge Schroeder, he misinterpreted the question and sort of derailed that line of questioning, which was kind of frustrating, but oh well. Let's see here. Court is still looking at the state seal with the aardvark or the badger or the pig or the wild boar or whatever is on that thing. I'm sure it's supposed to be a badger, but doesn't look very badgery. So, all right, we've got some time to kill here, apparently. What do you got here? Kerfuffle. Hey, Kerfuffle, what's up? Appreciate the bottom/ticker crawler indicating who's on the stand. Well, nobody's on the stand now, and this guy is off, so I should probably take that. Thank you for thanking me for that. So it reminded me that I can take it off now. Ooh, take it off. Well, let me do a little bit of what's coming up. This trial, that's what's coming up. We'll do a little bit of an early O.J. Simpson stream on Thursday. And then, he's calling the jury down now. Friday morning, we'll do the stream here. We'll stream the trial. And then Friday evening U.S. time, hopefully Flux and I will be doing another unexplained stream. All right, he has summoned the jury. He's seen the summoning sign, and he's brought it, and he's called them down. Yes, I know it's a badger, but I'm saying it doesn't look much like a badger. That's why I was joking about it. And while the judge is coming down, let's clear these last few things. Duncan, Idaho says, look, she was terrified of him. All right. Yeah. So, and again, she said she was terrified, but then she specifically said, no, I'm not afraid of him. I'm just pissed that he was messing with your stuff. Something to paraphrase. And that's when it started the let's break his legs and stuff. that line of text back and forth. Leanie, thank you so much. That F text is like telling a woman to calm down. That does not calm anything right. And Feral Housewife, I've seen all of Sadie this morning, but I wonder if she ordered that tracker on his account. Like I said, someone mentioned that earlier, and I think that's just far too much of a 4D chess for her. I don't think she's quite that bright. But who knows? It could be possible. Fiery Red Planet, so jealous of you in Valhalla to Flux for being on Gosney's Rumble. I was on there too. You're not jealous of me, huh? Fine. Yeah, women love it when you tell them to calm down. Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, even if he did do it, it was in his body.
Do so much for the testimony you're about to give.
The tracking thing was still in the box.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So,
right.
God, please be seated.
Who is this guy? State your
Mr.
name and
Webb,
spell
can you state your first and your last name, spell your last name for the record?
First name is Paul, last name is Webb, W-E-B-B, the third.
Back
with
in
the third.
the time period of May 21st of 2020, were you employed?
Yes,
And what was your employment back on May 21st of 2020?
I'm a front-end coach at Walmart.
And what does a front-end coach mean?
Basically the overall manager on that front end.
Okay. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's just in that area, but the total store, but that was my specific area.
And at which Walmart, were you at a particular Walmart store during that time period?
Yes, the Kenosha location.
Okay. Do you continue to have employment with Walmart today?
Yes.
All right. In your capacity at the Kenosha Walmart back on May 21st, 2020, did you have a detective or somebody from the Kenosha Police Department approach you to see if you could figure out how to find out additional information on a receipt?
Yes.
And the way you saw that receipt, was it a picture?
No, it was an actual receipt document from what he had.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 115. And what I'm going to do is have the detective come up so you don't have to touch it. And he'll just show it to you closely enough so you can inspect Exhibit 115. If we can do that way, please.
Yes,
Okay.
that was the exact receipt that he gave me.
So you feel confident that is the receipt?
Yes.
Okay. And did you, in terms of having that receipt, based on what you recall, what information did you have to go on? In other words, to try to figure out how to fill in the blanks on the receipt?
The time stamp, the date, and on the bottom there's a transaction code that we put into our database to try to locate receipts. And we can look at other store receipts. It doesn't have to be our own because it's in the database through Walmart.
And did you have the entire transaction code or just a large portion of it?
This had the large portion, and I had to basically process elimination with the numbers to kind of find the actual receipt.
And when you use that transaction code, were you also attempting to match it to the time and date of the transaction?
Yes.
Because you knew that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said we are able to do this and we're able to look at other stores. Who are you talking about when you say we?
We as in managers, we have that option to do so. Just because you could go to other locations and get receipts found for other people.
And what mechanically are you operating? So are you doing this by hand files, or what are you looking at to do this?
It's electronic journal, so it's done on a computer.
And who keeps this electronic journal? Is it a corporation or one person? Who does this?
It's the corporation. It's done through our home office down in Bentonville, Arkansas, where they have a particular application that we go to be able to pull up electronic journal receipts.
And is this a particular program, this journal that you're talking about, where you're looking at transaction numbers? Is that something that you commonly use for other purposes at Walmart?
Yes.
Okay, so describe what would be the most common purpose by which you would use this exact same process. What sort of thing happens at Walmart that would cause you to need this?
Well, there are customers that come in our store that have receipts that are faded like that we have to try to find for them if they're trying to do a return or trying to get like warranty information. They would need to get the actual document, so that's something that we get for them.
Okay, so on May 21st, utilizing what you've been shown, Exhibit 115, did you go to a particular laptop or computer and attempt to do this process you've described?
Yes.
Okay, and was the machinery you were using in working order? In other words, did you see any signs that things weren't working?
Yes, it was in working order.
Okay. And did you have to do anything other than the typical process you do at Walmart to take a faded receipt and figure out, what the rest of the details are?
No, it was just getting that information on there and finding it.
Pretty standard for you.
Yes.
Okay. So ultimately, were you able, with the numbers that you had, to find a transaction that matched that date of May 18th, 2020 at 8:36 a.m.? Were you able to find a transaction number that did match that?
Yes.
And was that your Walmart store where that transaction had happened, or some other one, if you remember?
It was another store.
Okay. And when you had that data, so when you found the match, is there any kind of document that you then generate?
Yes.
And what's that called? What do you call it?
We just call it a printout.
Okay.
A receipt printout.
And what does that document contain, to your knowledge?
It contains, just like a regular receipt, it contains the store number, the store manager, time, date, the actual full transaction code, how they paid, and the items that they purchased.
So it's not exactly like the receipt I would normally get when I go to Walmart.
Rittenhouse.
No.
But it has the same information.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 256 and ask you if, again, in the context of 115, the one we just showed you, is 256 an exhibit you recognize?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Okay. So what is Exhibit 256 then, again, in the context of what we've talked about?
It's just like right up top. It's the item history. It's not an actual receipt, but it shows every item information that customer purchased.
Is this the document that you provided when a detective came to you with Exhibit 115? Is this the actual document that you provided?
Yes.
Okay. Or a photocopy. It's the same document in terms of content?
Yes.
Okay. Is this exhibit I've just shown you changed or altered in any way from what you generated on May 21st to try to assist the Kenosha Police Department?
No.
Does it appear, other than the sticker that's on it, does it have any changes or alterations from the document you provided?
No.
Judge, I'd move admission of this exhibit now based on his testimony.
Is there objection?
No.
Received.
And after you provided it to the detective, did you do anything else in this case?
No.
Okay. And again, this exhibit is what number? If you could say the sticker number.
S256.
So as to 256, it tells the store, correct?
Yes.
All right. It gives you the date and time of the transaction, whether it's paid for in cash.
Yes.
Whether it's paid for in cash.
Yes.
And it itemizes what items were purchased in that transaction.
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing else with this witness.
Cross-examine?
Yes, thank you. Good, is it afternoon yet? No, good morning, Mr. Webb.
Morning.
So you were a manager at Walmart around May 21st, 2020, during COVID.
Yes.
Interesting time to run a store. Were there times where your store was closed because of COVID or had limited hours?
Objection as to the Kenosha store, irrelevant.
Oh, just let him ask the nice questions.
Well, if he knows he can answer.
Yes.
And what were those changes?
It depends on the store. Our store usually, during COVID, it was a protocol that had to be market level to tell the store, hey, we need to close down. But it was very seldom. And of course, we used to be a 24-hour store, but when COVID hit, we closed at 11 p.m.
And that was store specific?
In our market, yes.
What do you mean in our market?
Because there's different markets in a location where there's market 435, which is our market, and there's 444. So there's different market with different locations.
Okay.
Within Walmart.
Okay. And so the corporate office though, would they would they allow the markets to make the decisions themselves, or was that something that corporate would decide for a specific
Well,
market?
they have to reach out.
Sir, objection irrelevant. What corporation is doing?
It's not irrelevant. Shut
Sorry,
up,
you
DA.
can answer it.
So they will have to reach out to corporate and see if it's feasible. There's numbers that we have to call if we have to, close down for a certain reason.
And then
Aw, cute doggy.
during COVID, as a manager, were you aware of quantity limitations that were placed on certain products?
Yes.
Okay, and could you explain that a little bit for the jury?
Just certain like toilet paper, paper towels. We limited customers getting large quantities because people were trying to buy everything on the shelf. So it was a limited quantity that you could purchase.
And was that decided by the specific market as well?
No, it was actually company-wide.
Company-wide, okay. So as far as some other items that were restricted, how about like Lysol wipes?
That was limited too, but every store wasn't going by that.
And then how about gloves?
Gloves wasn't restricted.
Okay.
It wasn't part of the restriction.
Sorry, was not?
Was not.
Thank you.
And at the store, did you have practices in place to like encourage maintaining social distancing, 6 feet, things of that nature?
Yes.
Okay. What were some of those things?
We had.
Same objection, irrelevant.
We're getting close to the edge of relevance.
This was going to be my last line of questioning, Judge.
I can't complain. You can answer it.
Yes, there were protocols that we had to abide by during COVID. There were aisle decals that we had to put on the floor to state the distance, and arrows throughout the aisles to know the pathway to actually go in the store. Again, working at the store, customers didn't always go by that, but there was protocol that we had to put out in place for that.
Thank you. I have nothing further for the witness.
Were garbage bags ever restricted, like 13-gallon garbage bags?
No.
Nothing else?
Any requests?
No, Judge.
Let me step down, sir.
All right. That was exciting testimony, wasn't it? Goodbye, Walmart front end coach, Paul Webb III. It was a pleasure hearing from you.
Judge, just while he's making his entrance, the state would just move exhibits 207, 220, and 222 into evidence.
Is there objection?
It's more of the record, so just might
No objection.
Proceed.
All right. Q Revere says, and I got news for you. That means yeah. Barbara Vance, during that time, I bought Clorox wipes, tarps, gloves, sanitizers, heavy trash bags, paper towels, etc. What does that mean? Well, murder or remodeling, but in his case, he was working on demolishing a house, and according to the
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be
he
the
needed
truth,
to know what time they
the whole
opened so he
truth,
could
and
hurry and
nothing
get
but
there
the
and get to
truth,
work.
God. Please be seated.
Detective Brightshev, can you state your first and last name and spell your names for the record?
Certainly. My first name is Philip, Phillip. My last name is Brightshaft, Brietchaft.
How are you employed?
Insert
I'm
jokes
employed
here.
as a detective at the City of Kenosha Police Department
How long have you been so employed?
since 2006.
How long have you been a detective?
Since June of 2017.
And I want to turn your attention now to May 21st of 2020. At that time, were you provided information that you should proceed to the Saukville Walmart.
That's correct.
Who were you with?
I was with, at the time, Detective Antaramian, but now he's Sergeant Antaramian.
And were you provided a document that you were asked to present to an employee at the Saukville Walmart to see if they could match it to any video surveillance they had at that location?
That's correct.
That was your task?
Yes.
Okay. And so I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 256. And I'm going to simply ask you, in the context of what we talked about, is this a document that you recognize in terms of receiving it and then passing it on?
Yes, it is.
So you did not create that document itself, right? The document you have in front of you?
No, sir.
What is that document as best you understood as you started your task?
Absolutely. It is a receipt for several purchases from a Saukville area Walmart.
And so is that a document then that you presented to another individual at Saukville?
That is correct.
Okay. And did you meet an individual there whose name is Peter Werchnig?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you did
What
that, did you show him Exhibit 256?
Yes, at some point in time.
Okay. And then what were you present for, or what did you observe happen when you presented 256 to this individual at the Saukville Walmart?
We advised Mr. Werchnig that we're looking for video, including arrival and activity within the store, as well as departure that would surround this purchase.
And were you present as he either looked by hand or manipulated a machine or did whatever he did to try to take the document 256 and match it to video?
I'm going to object as far as the form of the question. It's testimony.
The objection overruled.
Were you present for any process that Mr. Werchig was involved in?
Yes, sir.
What did you observe him doing?
He was going through the Walmart video surveillance system at that location, and he was applying the date and the time of this purchase into their software.
And ultimately, did this individual, Mr. Werchnig, provide you an opportunity to observe video surveillance from the Walmart store?
That's correct.
Okay. So, and then ultimately, did you observe that video and did he make you a copy?
Yes.
And did you bring that copy then back from Saukville in some fashion?
Yes, sir.
How did you get it? Physically, what was it that you were given?
Forgive me, I don't recall if it was a flash drive or a disk. I believe we had, in canvassing, we had pockets fulls of flash drives or USB drives. I don't recall if it was a disk at that time or if it was one of these USB drives.
And when that was provided to you, did you have an opportunity to review then what was on the flash drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was that flash drive a true and accurate copy of the documents of what you saw depicted in the video system when that flash drive was being created?
I'm going to object as a mischaracterization of prior testimony. This witness said he couldn't remember if it was a flash drive or a disk.
Rephrase your question.
Sure. Whatever document, whatever you brought back, either a flash drive or a disk, did you have an opportunity to review that?
Yeah, the tie
video
knot is
from
really
the Walmart that's surrounding this purchase. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And when you looked at the flash drive or disk, did it? What if anything can you say about whether it accurately depicted what you had seen on the video screens as developed by Mr. Werchnig?
What I saw at Walmart with Mr. Werchnig and in reviewing said video matched up.
And so And then after you found that that matched up, did you transport that back and provide it to the Kenosha Police Department in some fashion?
Yes.
And how did you do that? Did you give it to a detective? Did you put it in evidence? What do you recall about what you did, if you know?
In some combination or form, Detective Raymond or Sergeant Raymond, however you wish to refer to him. Between the two of us, we provided a copy for the rest of the investigative team, and then put the original into evidence, be it a disc.
Judge, I asked for an opportunity to recall Detective Breitschaft after calling Mr. Werchnig. I want him to have an opportunity to observe the video when it's published, and then to finally indicate.
Ooh, I hope we
is
get to
this
see the
same
Walmart video. That would be
that he
exciting,
provided?
wouldn't
So
it?
At this
Wow.
point, it's State's Exhibit 322.
State's Exhibit 1, number 32.
I'm sorry, State's Exhibit 1322. It's on our large flash drive and it's located there.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay.
But I guess I would object to him being present during the other witness's testimony. I think he can review the document on his own.
So what I was proposing is when that suggestion to say whatever time I was going to have the other testify, and then I was going to have Breitschaft come in when I show.
Hello, audio. Well, thank you, French Irish, for the super sticker.
So I think he needs to be shown the video when he's under oath to be able to testify that it is the same.
Okay, do you want me to put it on the screen?
And Q Revere, who the fuck buys kitchen-sized trash bags to dispose of body parts, right? Standard kitchen garbage bags will not get the job done. Just ask Taylor Shabusiness. Flux, $5. I was one of those people that said, screw the floor arrows. I'm going down the up aisle. The dirty looks like guy, you would think I killed someone. Yeah, there's a lot of that thinking people kill people going around these days.
Impression that the further questioning was going to be generally limited to his confirming that they're talking about the same video.
That's correct. So,
Yeah.
so what we have
So
is we
that's
have
okay.
Exhibit 1322.
It's okay.
Okay, so can we just show it now, or how do you wish to do it?
Well, I didn't think she was in agreement with that, but if that's what was provided, yeah, I would say yes.
Okay.
It's going to require the further sponsorship of the provider.
Right, who's in the hallway?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But you can go ahead and play it now.
Okay, so Detective, we're going to show you now what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1, number 322, and it has a number of clips. So we're going to show you the clips, and then we're going to ask you, do you recognize this document as the true and accurate document that you saw generated at the Saukville Walmart, and that you then proceeded back to put it down?
Starting with clip 2. Which clip?
Starting with clip 2. Can we get, can you stop for a second? Can we get it so that the rest of it is, we get it as full a picture as we can?
Full screen.
That's full screen? Okay.
Weird.
Technology. All right. Boomer, wow, Paul, who is a bigger threat to Walmart, Zach Anderson or Peter Pipkin? That's rad. Riveting.
Okay, so that's the conclusion of clip 2.
I just ask that after a clip's shown that a question be asked about the witness before we just play consistent videos.
So as to clips 2 and 3, are those true and accurate copies of what you saw generated by Saukville Walmart employee and what you then brought back?
Yes.
Now I'm going to
Well,
show
that
clip
feels that
4.
he must have
Ask you
done the
same
murder
questions.
now because of those videos. You know, that could have been anyone on planet Earth, basically, that just walked by. This was supposed to be the day of, or the day, the the act was supposed to have happened at night. This was early the next morning, I guess. Yeah, sure it was. But so he's going to bike. Now, mind you, he was later on in the day supposedly at a home demolition site where he was supposed to be helping demolish a house. So, rascal sighting, Walmart rascals. I wonder which brand holds body parts best. Well, the guy was 270 pounds, so probably hefty. I would say hefty garbage bags. Where's the shopping cart? Dun, dun, dun. I'll say this is the most exciting store video I've seen. I can't even joke about it. I've seen lots more exciting store videos than this. Well, while they're doing this, I want to go back and read some of the member chats. Notes on a phone. Member for 4 months says this super chat has no content. Also, hi Jeff. I notes on a phone. And Hugh Jass, and member for 1 month. This trial really puts the con in the state of Wisconsin. Nice. That was a good one. And Nathan C., member for 6 months of the Clean and Sober crew, says volume is top notch now. Thanks, Jeff. Here's to 6 months as a member. Great to have you here. And Cellulite Podcast. If you're still here, Willem, I missed one of your chats, it looks like. He said she looks to be in her 40s or 50s and possibly a heavyweight 230, maybe 250. I'd smash. Okay. Thanks for sharing, Will. Oh, and Lacey super chatted us. She super stickered us the mustache. Dick Saucer, member for 3 months of the Clean and Sober crew, said, I use free subs and Jeff still cares about me. Of course I do. Vince Clortho, member for 5 months, says, check out the mustache testifying now in Florida. I can't. I'm here, but we'll get to it after this trial. Rose, thank you so much. Maud Rose, she's been a member for 6 months with the Clean and Sober crew. Thanks for taking time to show these trials for us. They were so much fun. Best channel in chat. Hit the thumbs up, sub, click the bell, become a member today. Thank you for that, Rose. That was super of you. Joe Choi got 6 months too. Vice Squad's the best. I do have the best chat ever. But do we have to watch his entire shopping spree here? Wow. Guess we do. This is what the people want. And I hope you don't mind. I promised one of the loyal viewers that I would show this today. He whipped this up, and I said that I would show it, so I will. Here's a fan art meme for you, because we keep comparing him to the Emperor Palpatine. So I just thought that was funny, and I promised I would show it. So there you go. Back to your regularly scheduled shopping trip. Oh, wow. Silver Crypto gifted 10 Legal Vices memberships. If you were one of the lucky people to get a gifted membership from Silver Crypto 2022, please give your thanks.
Copy of what you were provided by the Saukville Walmart on May 21st, 2020.
Yes.
Show you.
I missed the best part. Darn.
Fine.
Is that where he held up a big sign and said, "I'm the murderer"? Looks like Ozzy. I am the Senate. This is achieving to show what he bought. He went to Walmart and bought some stuff early in the morning after the alleged murder was allegedly committed. If only there was a video showing his van somewhere around the murder site, or driving to or from the
That's
murder
the
site.
clip 5. Again, is that a true and accurate copy of what you received from Saukville Walmart 5/21/2020?
Yes, sir.
This is 6.
Wow, that was a midget.
That's the conclusion of clip 6. Is that a true and accurate copy of what you were provided by Saukville 5/21/2020?
Yes.
This is clip 7.
Well, it's better than watching the Texas border ranger guy. We got to watch him sleep for 9.5 hours. That was pretty exciting. At least this guy's scanning stuff. Okay. Dogs. Feral Housewife, new member. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciate that, Feral Housewife. You're the best. And Marv White, member for 3 months, says, "Oh, we doing monthly messages? I already said what I had to say." Thanks. Well, there you go. That's all you apparently need to bash a body around, hack it up into pieces, or do whatever he did and move them on out. Oh, he's wearing flip-flops. That's interesting. He looks pretty cleaned up for someone that was just supposed to have bashed the guy's brains around the house. Cherry Reed is a new member also. Thank you so much, Cherry. We love it. Cherry. I'm not sure. Cherry, we'll call you Cherry. We'll call it a hard CH. Cherry Reed, thank you so much for joining the Clean and Sober crew. Yeah, he looks like he's in a panic to go clean up a body that someone could stumble upon any moment. Yeah, the blood-soaked feet. Notice the blood all over his shirt. It's not there. This isn't someone who killed a guy At least he's not acting like it. He's not acting like someone who killed somebody. Is desperately waiting for Walmart to open so he can run and leave the body, run and grab cleaning supplies, shop calmly through the store, scan his stuff calmly, and then go dispose of a human body that's about 80 pounds heavier than he is.
As to clip 7, same question I've asked on each of the
Yes,
other
they were
clips.
bleach wipes.
Yes.
They were the Lysol bleach wipes. They
This is
called
clip 8.
Yeah, there were no bottles of bleach. Wipes. Thank you, Shannon. I care about you. He's a big guy.
That's the end of clip 8. Same question.
Yes.
This is clip 9. That's the end of 9. Same question.
Yes.
This is now clip 10.
Right? This is why I hate self-checkouts. I think this footage is doctored because anybody ever used one of those self-checkout at Walmart knows you can't go through the whole thing of a self-checkout without having it screw up somehow. We have an Aussie Overlord sighting. He's getting set up and looking for something to keep you entertained through the break. I remember when I went back on vacation, when I went back to the States on vacation last summer, there was something that I put in my cart that triggered this, like an ID.
Again, is that true and accurate depiction of what you saw generated on May 21st, 2020?
Yes.
This is clip 11.
It was something dumb like deodorant or NyQuil. It was NyQuil. I bought a bottle of NyQuil to bring back to Korea, and it triggered this, like, you have to do an ID check and prove you're over 18. Ugh. Shannon 7, thank you, Jeff. I care that you care. Well, I care that you care that I care. We can see how long we can keep this going. I assume he is now speeding at 42 miles per hour to the murder scene. Right. Fondian says, I need a lawyer. I bought contractor yard bags, rope, rubber gloves, chains, cinder blocks, and X and KY jelly at Walmart a few months ago. Okay. Yeah, I got some paper towels to wipe up the blood with. Legal vices confirmed on the lien. Not sure exactly what you mean by that, but okay. Clarification.
So that's the end of clip 11. Again, same question.
Yes.
And this is finally clip 12, last one.
Oh, thank God. Hugh Jass says the state's lack of evidence is almost insulting. No, it is insulting and dangerous.
So that's the end of 12. So again, is that true and accurate copy of what you saw produced by the Saukville Walmart employee and also that you brought back to the Kenosha Police Department?
Yes.
So as to Exhibit 1, number 322, do you believe that to be a true and accurate depiction of the information and document in terms of video document that you received from Saukville Walmart on May 21st, 2020?
Yes.
Judge, I'd move admission again, subject to the foundation of the Walmart employee.
Objection.
No objection on the conditional admittance.
Is there a date and time stamp on this video? Can you make out what the date and time is of this final video?
Yes. It was clip 12, I believe. It's May 18th, 2020 at about 8:38 in the morning, Central Standard Time.
All right.
I have nothing else at this witness, Judge.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, are they going to call another witness before lunch? Find out now. That tie is really green. NyQuil chicken. Oh no. Yeah. I'm not going to confess to a crime. I did some funny stuff with the NyQuil a couple of times. It's funny because I did it. He eats a cheek.
State calls Peter Werschnig to the stand.
Oh, cool. We get Peter.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Let's see you, Peter.
And spell your last name for the record.
Peter Werschnig, Wertschnig.
Mr. Werschnig, how are you currently employed?
I am a manager at Walmart Hartford.
And back in the time period of May 21st, 2020, how were you employed?
I was a manager at the Walmart in Stockville.
That's in Wisconsin?
Correct.
And on May 21st, 2020, did you have Kenosha Police Department detectives come to you with a item history document from the Walmart Corporation?
Yes.
And was that a document you're familiar with in your employment?
Yes, it was.
All right. And was there a request that you attempt to figure out whether you had video surveillance based on the information on that item history document?
Yes, there was.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 256. Is this a document that you reviewed in the context of this case?
Yes.
And when you reviewed that document, what were you able to learn from it that was going to assist you in being able to look at any video surveillance you would have available?
The copy of the receipt actually has a transaction number, a register number, and a timestamp for where the purchase took place. So I was able to use that to backtrack through the store.
So describe a little bit for the jury how this works. So you have a date and a time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then you said there was another, an additional item that meant something to you. And what was that, the transaction?
Transaction number.
Okay. And what does the transaction number tell you? So I assume you have video of a whole store at a date and time, right? So how does the transaction number then assist you?
The transaction number will dial in the exact time that that purchase took place at that register.
So it'll tell you what register and what time?
Correct. So that'll pop up automatically in the system.
Okay. So what was the date and time that you were focused on based on Exhibit 256?
It was May 18th, 2020 at 8:36 a.m.
Okay. And based on the transaction number, then you were able to narrow down which register it was at?
Correct.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about the system that you're utilizing to be able to use the information you talked about and figure out the video. So describe what kind of system
Aiden in the house.
you're utilizing.
Sure. Camera system allows us to sync the multiple different cameras in the store to the same time. So we can use that to move from camera to camera and show the individual moving from one frame into the next frame.
And in this situation, you're being asked to take a look at something that happened a little more than 3 days before, correct?
Correct.
All right. Is that any problem in terms of this system?
No.
And
You excited you've
mechanically,
arrived
what
just
are we
in time
looking
for
at? Is
riveting
this,
Walmart manager
is this
testimony?
a laptop that you're using? Is it a particular software that you're
I still don't understand why they're even bothering with this.
doing to
Oh, hang
access
on, the
this
mic's probably
system?
hot.
It actually was a desktop CPU unit with a TV monitor.
And is this a particular system that you have experience with taking a receipt or a item transaction number and then having to work back and figure out the video? Is this something you've had to do before?
Yes, we use this system for various different managerial items in the store.
So give us an example of, other than detectives coming to visit you, so what would be the very typical way you might use this system? You have a transaction number, a receipt, and you are needing to look at video. What would be an example?
Correct. A lot of other time too, it could be for any internal investigations with associate dishonesty, associate incident or accidents, productivity.
Okay. So would you describe yourself as moderately familiar with this system or very familiar with this system back on May 21st, 2000?
Moderately.
Okay. And did you then, were you able to plug the numbers in that you had and
He's a
be able to
Walmart
get a
manager.
result?
He has no fucking clue how the equipment works.
Did the system that you operated do anything that caused you to believe it was not in working order? Any glitches, any problems that you remember?
No.
And using that system then, were you able to identify a particular at the register transaction that matched this particular case?
Yes.
Okay. And then from there, the jury has now seen video. Looks like it has parking lot aspects, it has entry and exit, and it has walking around in the aisles. Were you the person who generated all those camera angles as well?
Yes.
So how did you do that?
As I mentioned previously, we can sync all the different cameras together. So when someone is in camera A, for example, we can see them walk into the frame of camera B, and we use that to try to track throughout the store.
And the particular software and machinery just does that for you. You don't
It's a
have
hacker
to.
tracker.
You don't have to go around and look for the.
I object to leading.
Well,
Don't know the class as a
it
lady,
is
but,
suggestive, but he's talking to the person who actually is familiar with the operation of the equipment, and I suspect that the witness is unlikely to grasp at a suggestion from Mr. Gravely, whom I assume is not terribly familiar with the system at Walmart. So, oral.
So my question was,
Oral.
does
You're
the
giving oral?
system cause you to have to look around for a particular individual in each aisle, or does it automatically provide you documents that matches the person?
I have to pull up that camera that was used.
Okay. So this is a hit or miss where you're looking at different aisles to see if you see an individual you believe is the same individual. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And did you do that in this case?
Yes.
And using the transaction at the register, were you able to bring your video record all the way back to a vehicle in the parking lot?
Yes.
And then using this transaction at the register, were you able to then bring the video all the way out to a person going to a vehicle and then that vehicle leaving at an intersection?
Yes.
And did you have any trouble doing that in terms of utilizing the software or finding the individual who appeared to be at the register?
I did not.
Did you then generate some kind of a physical record of that? Other than keeping it in your system, did you some way cause that to be provided to the Kenosha Police Department?
Correct. It was downloaded into a CD form.
Okay. And was that
Who the hell still has
item then
CDs?
provided to the Kenosha Police Department?
I got a few.
Yes, it was.
And when you did that,
No drive to put them
were
in
you
there.
providing them a true and accurate copy of the document that you had just generated?
Yes.
Were there any changes or alterations from what you were providing them from what you had reviewed with them in the video system while you were present?
There were not.
Judge, based on the testimony now, I'd ask for the admission of Exhibit 1322 based on that foundational testimony.
The DVD, awesome.
He's playing so hard into getting that DVD admitted, and yet it proves shit all.
It proves so
Right. Did you happen to watch any of the video of him walking around Walmart?
Partially. Hang on. Oh, was it? Hang on. Is it me or is it Jeff?
Walmart.
Someone
What?
said loud.
So the document I provided you,
I
Exhibit
don't think it's either of us.
256, that
But
is
there-
the actual or a copy of the actual document you were provided to provide this information?
Yes,
And that confirms that this transaction was in Saukville?
correct.
And is this document a document that provides other information other than the date and time of the transaction and the store?
Yes.
What other information is included in a document of this type?
It has the items that were purchased, which we were able to use to determine what cameras to look up.
Oh, so that's part of how you knew where to look?
Correct.
Okay. Why is that? Are you familiar with where items are in what aisle?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So what items were purchased per this transaction on May 18th, 2020 at 8:36 a.m.?
There were a few items in the health and beauty department, Q-tips, Old Spice, and a shaver.
Okay.
There was also garbage bags.
How many boxes of garbage bags?
2 boxes of garbage bags.
And what, do you know, could you tell what size they were?
13 gallon.
Okay.
There was some Playtex gloves.
How many containers or how many of
It's
those?
better than
boxes?
Kotex.
2 packages of large gloves.
Okay.
Hang on, a whole
There
heap
was
of
three
bags, some
containers
garbage,
of sardines.
Okay.
And there was 2.
Maybe he was just finally getting
containers
around to
of
cleaning out his
Clorox
car.
wipes.
And can you tell how those items were paid for, again, just based on 256?
Cash.
Only if you know. Do you know when the store, this particular Walmart store in Saukville was opening for the day back on May 18th of 2020? So we've just hit COVID. Do you know what the store hours were during that
I
period?
believe 6 a.m.
Okay, so he went to Walmart like 2 hours after it opened. That doesn't sound like someone who's in a hurry to hide a body.
No.
Nothing else, Judge?
Cross-examine?
Yes, thank you.
Nothing to start with, Judge.
You had stated that the normal hours during COVID, open hours was what? Sorry, I missed
I
it.
believe it was 6 a.m.
Was that different than your normal hours?
The store used to be a 24-hour location prior to COVID.
Okay, so when approximately, so in May 21st, 2020, or May 18th of 2020, your hours were different than what your normal hours would have been.
Correct.
And then as far as items with your store, were you familiar about any policies that were in place that restricted the amount of certain items customers could purchase?
Not at that time.
Not at that time? Okay. And during that time, though, did you as a manager notice that there was a increase in demand for certain items?
I believe there was, yes.
Do you remember what some of those items were?
Most likely disinfectants and cleaning supplies.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Nothing on those.
You may step down, sir.
I think it's going to be lunchtime.
Tax dollars hard at work, people.
Well, what do you think? How about lunch? Let's take a break until 1:10. And please don't read, watch, or listen to any account of the trial. Don't discuss it with anyone, including members of your household and other jurors. And any questions? All right, we'll see you in a little over an hour.
Aiden, where'd you go? We've lost Hayden. All right, just kind of waiting to see if they're doing any of their usual banter back and forth before they leave, and doesn't look like he's doing any more talking, but we'll give them another minute or two just in case. Welcome back, Hayden.
Sorry, just grabbing a piece of paper in case there was anything absolutely riveting that I need to write down.
Ooh, there was a couple spicy things.
Okay.
But while this is going on, oh, there we go. We do have audio. Right, I guess we're not going to hit anything important. So there we go. Ozzy, take it away for about a minute. I'll be right back. Grift yourself.
Fair enough.
Grift yourself.
How we doing, people? So once we've had the handover, we'll all head over to my channel and we'll continue on for the afternoon session. For your viewing pleasure, we do have a whole bunch of Sovereign Citizen videos, one of which is about 44 minutes. I doubt we're probably going to make it the whole way through that. I did notice that there's a Karen who calls 911 during a court hearing to report the judge. And there's a lady that is convinced that the laws do not apply to her during a traffic stop. So that's always interesting. Hunky dory, mate. Alrighty. Yeah, well, I try and keep things interesting and entertaining to keep things going. Hayden likes to play loud cop sirens on his stream. Well, occasionally it happens. Heading up to Yellowstone, catch you all in the morning. No worries. Enjoy.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Still out of it. I'm still adjusting to getting up this extra hour early. It's
only for one more week.
This is true. And then
ish.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't actually change the body rhythm, but I suppose, yeah. But anyway. Oh, you mean because the trial's over in a week?
Yeah, the trial's over in a week. Yeah. That too. You'll catch up.
I'm still out of it. I'm not going to lie.
The goatee's looking sharp. You're looking good.
Yeah, I've got to work out how to keep it clean and crisp though. It's starting to get a little bit scraggly, and so I've got the beard comb and I've got the beard oil, the sandalwood beard oil, which is nice. Almost shaved it off the other day because it was it got really hot here, and so I got itchy, and I'm just like, no. Powered through though.
Yeah, it's got to power through. You'll get used to it.
That's right, people. Welcome to Beard Chat.
Beard Chat. All right. Well, dang, we had kind of a spicy little morning here. Chandler is very, very, very sick today. Doesn't know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Doesn't know if she'll make it. Well, she's not going to make it to the stream. Just doesn't. She's hurting pretty bad apparently. So trying to avoid a trip to A&E. So that's how sick she is.
Fair enough.
So she gets a pass today. It's we're on our own. It's all up to us.
That's all right. We can carry it as usual. Just it's unfortunate that after Jeff leaves, I'll be out of eye candy.
Yeah. There. Just lost about 1,000 people because I did that. All right. So what's happening here is how long until you can get your stream up and running?
Oh, right. Sorry. It's all set up. I just got to hit the go live button.
All right. Well, he is doing that. What's going to happen here is we're going to wrap this up in a couple of minutes, and then as we do every day, for those of you that don't know, we'll shift on over to Aussie Overlord's channel for the afternoon session, so that I can go to sleep. It's currently 2:07 a.m. here in Korea, and it's 4 a.m. where Hayden is. So that's how early he gets up to do this. So that we decided to do kind of a tag team. He gets to sleep early and wake up early. I get to stay awake late and wake up early. So it's good to see everybody here. And it's while you're doing that, I will set this up to redirect directly to you. Almost forgot to do that. Then it would have been my fault this time. Unlike the other times. So what's going to be happening here is when I end this stream, we should be automatically filtered over to Aussie Overlord's channel. If that doesn't work, there's going to be a little box at the top of chat that says something exciting is happening over at Aussie Overlord's channel. Click here to see what it is, or whatever they happen to say. There we go. Ooh, you changed your thumbnail. And you're muted too. You're muted. You're still muted.
Oh, damn it.
There you go.
For some reason, when I upload it through StreamYard directly, I have to go in and manually edit it after the fact. I don't know why it's doing that.
Well, anywho, I found out where you are. So we are set to dump over into you. And so if it doesn't, like I said, if it doesn't happen automatically, there's going to be the little box up at the top of the chat that you get to click on. If that doesn't work, you'll just have to search for Aussie Overlord and do it manually. Before we go here, I've got 4 super chats. Shannon7 says, prosecution case reminds me of W.C. Fields. If you can't dazzle him with brilliance, baffle him with bullshit. So technical about Walmart. He brought freaking wipes and trash bags. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah. Nicholas Starr of Union Rep Labor Law, thank you again for another generous super chat. Running that Walmart film over and over. If the prosecution claim is that Junior was already dead and Zach is wearing those clothes during the murder, where's the blood? There's a lot of problems with that video. Wolfram, was the FBI brought in to write their own software which could output whatever they want to decrypt the Walmart data? They can get it. They can probably. I don't know. I've seen 24, so I know that Chloe can just tap into any camera on Earth. Mandy, what's up, Mandy? How you doing, girl? Good to see you over here for a change. Again with the dollars. All right. What is your favorite Old Spice, Jeff? Is it Captain, Kraken, Seawolf? Weirdly, I'm actually going through a stick of Old Spice as we speak. It's something like, Forest Rain or some other beta shit that they title all their deodorants these days. There just needs to be like Viking Savagery, something like that, But now it's like, sand petals. But Andrew's son, did you have a member chat? Let's go back to the member chats and see here what we've. Oh, Andrew's son. Great. Do I want to read this? Member for 1 month. Thank you for another glorious No Kurt stream. Also loved you blowing out the peasants' eardrums for the amusement of us paying members. Screw Kurt. All right. Well, you might need to let that go. I think you might have a fixation. Might lead to bad things. And Josh Gordon, also a member of the Clean and Sober Crew for 3 months. Is the Courtney Clenny trial still live for April? So far. But we should find out soon if there's going to be any changes there. So, all right, that brings us to the end here. As soon as Ozzy gives me the word that he's up and running, we will run with that. And we'll send you on over there. So what I've got coming up, tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll be doing this trial. Thursday, we'll start a little bit early, maybe do an hour and a half of some O.J. Simpson trial, which we do every Thursday. And then we'll do the trial. Friday morning, U.S. time, we'll do this trial again. But Friday evening, assuming that Flux is okay with it, Flux and I will be doing another Unexplained stream. We haven't done one of those for about a month or so. So it's time to get back to doing some Unexplained, where we just talk about unexplained things. It's kind of self-explanatory. So that's what'll be happening. And then next Monday, there's likely to not be another Maritime Monday just because of the timing of this trial. Oh, Flux says, yes, sir. So cool. Flux and I will be getting together to do another Unexplained stream. Awesome. And she also bothered to send a text confirming it. So cool. Ralph 707, no, why would she be? All right. We have the thumbs up from Aussie Overlord. So let's do this. I'm going to shut this down now, and we will be automatically filtered over to Aussie Overlord. And like I said, if it doesn't happen, click on the box at the top of chat. If that doesn't work, find your way there manually. But everybody, get over there. Mods, thank you so much for being super moddy today. You guys are great. And thank you so much to the chat. We have the greatest chat on earth. Most of you, like 99% of you, are great. The other ones just kind of make me laugh. And thank you to all of you super chatters. I love you and I care about you more than anyone else. I only care about my donors, as you always know. Just kidding. Even the ones that don't super chat, I still love you because, hey, without you, there'd be no reason to do this. So thank you, everybody. Chat, thank you for all the generosity shown. Thank you for the subs. On your way out, do me the favor of liking and subscribing if you haven't already done so. And to wrap up our stream is the end of the like and subscribe poll for those of you that liked and subscribed. 21% of you said I hit the like and subscribe button. Now I need my space. 22% of you said I hit the like and subscribe button and put a tracking device on you. 27% of you said I hit the like and subscribe button. That means I murdered you, obviously. And 29% of you said I hit the like and subscribe button. XOXO. All right, thanks everybody. We'll talk to you over on Aussie Overlord in approximately 1 minute. Bye now. Until tomorrow, enjoy your legal vices and Aussie Overlord.